Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to say good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. Welcome to a fresh, brand new edition of the program Ashford God Live on this beautiful Monday afternoon, Monday night in other parts of the world, Monday morning in other parts of the world. Sit back, relax, and let's together have a conversation tonight. We have with us tonight Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, forensic scientist, and he has some photographs to show you. Somebody that is believed to be one of the three mixing men, and according to him, this person drowned, and he would tell us what he knows, who did he speak with, how did he get the pictures, right here on Bridge Radio Africa. Don't be selfish. Invite a few friends. Grab something to drink. Get the popcorn rolling. You know, as always, folks, please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise men. J. Gadagba Howard, how you doing, big brother? Alvin Perry, how you doing? Tough times don't last. Tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because you can't hide your nakedness from bathing bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine, because a bald-headed man does not walk on a moonlight. Things are really tough in Liberia. We just had a few selfish people who think all is well. People are angry. People are suffering. But you just have 5% of the entire population who think all is well. I would not be surprised, despite all the money that George Weah has or Thomas Fowler has, I would not be surprised when Darius Dillon wins the election on December 8th, because the people are angry. The medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, the broadcast commissioner, I'm ASHFORD GARLEY. Welcome. You have got to start to think in the right direction when you see people setting themselves on fire. I mean, what kind of country is this? Every other day or every other week, something interesting will happen in this country. Jeez. There you go. Clarence Tiller, Raymond Haggard, Silla Alf19, Rose Sad, Desmond Johnson, Yvette Cephas, Dempster Greer. I also see Modup Bidel, Makimi Sharif, Sufficient D. Momo Senior, Donso Boyman, T. Dawkins Riches, Elizabeth Bowen, Margaret Mapu Dazen, Musa Sharif, Tracy Wilson. Listen, I want to say a big thank you to our sister stations in Liberia. Joy FM 101.5, Live FM 104.1, Super FM 95.5. We're still trying to get signal from the southeast. Top FM in Rio Grande County. 4 major radio stations in Liberia. Just like that, you have easy 1.5 million people listening right now, folks. Just like that. I want to say a big thank you to our local partners in Liberia for relaying our program. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, if you had kids, because some of the pictures that you will see tonight, I want to warn you now, please take the kids away from the television. Joining me now is my special guest co-host, VOLCANO SHELTON. We are doing broadcasts on wheel now. Oh man, Shelton, I'd like to say hello and welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, my man. Thank you again. It's good to be back. You know, this issue is very, very important right now regarding these missing young men. And whatever we can do to unearth, you know, the truth, that's what we're doing. And tonight the discussion is going to be very heated. We have a professional guest who's going to be bringing us some updates and development on the issue. So I can't wait for us to begin to just go into discussion, because I know the audience waiting and they want to be a part of the discussion. So I mean, good to be back.
Okay, you know, we hear from the newsmakers themselves. Mr. Charles B. Yates is on yet as well. Deborah Annie Crowman, Killer Bain. I'm getting a call from Liberia. Shelton, go ahead with the talking point. Let me talk to the person. Very important call from Liberia. So go ahead and do a little bit of talk as we with our guests. Go ahead, Shelton.
All right. Thank you, Ashford. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the BRIDGERADIO Africa and Ashford GARLEY Live. We are covering the issues regarding 3 missing young men. Just to recap, who were allegedly drowned nearly 2 weeks ago. One of the prime persons being held is Mr. Moses, the owner of the Moses. It is construed that he's involved with the death of these guys, but accordingly, they are not dead. From the family members, they are alive and being held against the will in a place for ritualistic purpose. But accordingly, one of the gentlemen has been found, and forensics will determine that it's indeed one of the individuals. So our guest tonight is Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, who has some very important information and update with photographs to dispel some of the rumors. So we want you to hang tight, and together we're going to have a wonderful discussion, giving you updates. You have, no need to be second guessing. Hopefully, we can unearth some of the truth in this case and bring some kind of closure. We know that the situation is ongoing, investigation is ongoing, so we're not going to say definitively here tonight that at the end of this broadcast we're going to have a conclusion on the matter, but at least it will give you an insight on more of the information unfolding, so that you'll be able to begin to draw, your own analysis on the issue.
Thank you, Shelton. Again, folks, we just want you all to know that we are in this to give you the facts, whether Saint Moses was telling the truth that these guys actually drowned, or whether, according to the uncle and one of the fathers to the missing men, that still believe that their children are still alive. And that's what we have the expert on here tonight. He has photographs in his possession that has to do with drowning. And according to him, the body is believed to be the technician that was on the trip from Morovia to bomb mines. So again, we have nothing against the parents of the missing young man. We have nothing against Saint Moses. Our responsibility here at Bridge Radio Africa is to give you the facts as they unfold. Now, before we introduce our special guest, let me say to you, I had a little post on Facebook earlier this morning, and I said LRA with a question mark because we got the false alarm that the LRA boss was in fact murdered. But I'm here to tell you that he's still alive because I spoke with him today. And that's why I took the post down. Even though I didn't say any name, but you saw me say LRA with a question mark. And I reached out to the boss of LRA, Mr. Donan. Thomas Donan is still alive and kicking. We had a discussion earlier today, just so you know. Now we are calling the spokesperson of the Liberian National Police to join us tonight. We tried calling him a few times earlier today. We didn't get hold of him. I think he needs to come here and share some type of information with us. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest, Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, has just arrived. And we want to include him now into the conversation. Dr. Rockefeller F. Cooper II, welcome to Bridge Radio Africa. You might want to please unmute your microphone. Still can't hear you, sir. Shelton, can you hear him?
No.
Dr. Cooper, there's no audio coming from your end. Now, you just muted your mic. Please unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, please. You might want to unmute your mic. Your mic is muted, Doc.
I think he thinks that it's coming from the studio.
It's not coming from the studio. If I can hear you, we should be able to hear him, Shelton.
And we heard him earlier when we were setting up. So
when we're doing the test. You need to unmute your microphone, Doc. Unmute your microphone. Doc, bro, you're gonna have to unmute your mic, please. Unmute your mic.
Ashford, could we just out and log back in, maybe?
Unmute your mic, Doc, please. The screen shows that you are muted.
Ashford, let him just log out. Sign up, go back in. Hopefully it rectifies the issue. Ashford, did you mute your mic? Because I can't hear you.
Okay, let's see if we have the doc now. Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, can you hear us? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? You might just want to do something with your microphone because we still can't hear you. Shelton, can you hear me?
The volume was very. It sounded like I was about to hear him, but the volume seemed very low.
Okay, Doc, please say something. So you might just want to do a little housekeeping with this.
Yeah, let him test the mic.
Test the mic, Doc, because I tested it. Maybe I can come back in. Okay, it said that the host has to test my mic. So, okay, Doc, this is what you need to do. Can you log off and log back in, please? Please log off and log back in. Shelton, what do you expect to hear from Dr. Rockefeller Cooper tonight?
I think with his background regarding his expertise, I'm sure that he may not be on the grounds right now, but so for the authenticity of what the pictures he has, and including information he's received, he is very confident that the remains that we discussed tonight is individuals. And I'm sure that with his background, he's not just going to be projecting hearsay. He has to be convinced. So I think that we will probe him to make some relevant clarity. How does he come to the conclusion that he believes that one of the individuals is one of the victims, or rather the individual picture he has is one of the victims? So let's hope he can make clear that the information he's providing tonight, that would be very important for the viewers, because our people, they tend to not believe anything. It's gonna be like, oh, you know what? That's creating another story to cover up. Maybe the person who they found is another man they found in West Point, or they found that man way in, to start naming places. But let's hope that he has some very, very credible, information to give, tested, proven, so that we can proceed with the discussion and make it even more interesting.
And like you said, the Liberian people are very hard to deal with, Doc, can you hear us now? Doc, can you hear us? Yes, can you hear me? But we can't hear you. What's going on?
Well, mic is low. But why is he using earpiece? Maybe the earpiece could be interfering with the connection.
Exactly, it could be. You might want to please turn up the volume to your system, Doc. Now you are muted. Can you unmute your device, please? Unmute your device.
Okay, can you hear me now?
There you go. That earphone, that earpiece, how I just,
I
don't know why.
Like they ain't got vision, right? They ain't got vision for anything.
The earphone, it kind of interface with the mic.
Exactly. Well,
okay.
Top FM in Zredu Grand Judah kind of just joined us. So we're on Top FM in the entire Southeast. We're in River G. We're in Grand Crew. We're also in Maryland, Grand Judah County, and Sando. We are in parts of Nima County tonight. Want to say a big thank you to 105.3 Top FM in Zredu, and we're also on Top Television in Zredu Grand Judah County. We're on Live FM 104.1. We're on Joy 101.5. We're also on Super FM. I want to say a big thank you to all of you for taking up time just to join us tonight. Our sister stations in Liberia, I want to say a big thank you to you as well. Dad, welcome to the show. Bring us up to speed. What do you know? What do you have in your possession?
Ashford.
Yes.
Ashford. I would say that Dr. gave a summary of his background a little bit to set the stage. so that people can know his credential and what he brings to the table before we go into discussion.
You're right. We dealt with that before, but this is a much more bigger platform now than the last time we spoke. So, who is Dr. Rockefeller Cooper? Please give us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so just to make this real short and simple, Dr. Rockefeller Cooper is a Liberian by nationality, of course. He has an MD from the Windsor University School of Medicine, situated on the island of St. Kitts. And he also has a master's in forensic science with concentration in forensic death investigation. He has experience working with several medical examiner offices within the United States with the sole purpose of assisting in the establishing of cause and manner of death. He's also a fellow with the International Association of Coroners and Medical Examiners, and he affiliates with several forensic institutions like the Nebraska Institute of Forensic Science, Death Investigation Training Academy, and other institutions out there, not to take up your time. So as a Liberian, he has been focusing since the Ellen Johnson regime on questionable deaths within the country. So from Michael Allison, Harry Greaves, Victoria Zizi, Odell Sherman, the list goes on and on and on. And here we are today with the issue involving the alleged death / abduction / missing 3 individuals who was last known for crossing the St. Paul River, and their whereabouts after then have been questioned. So here we are, Ashford. We are here to look at some facts, as I've always done with other cases. Doing my own personal investigation, I was able to make some findings regarding this case, and hopefully it should be able to open the minds of listeners out there in radio land. And at the end of the day, hopefully we should be able to do, our basic calculation and know where we are heading at this point.
Well, but what makes you feel confident that the pictures you have in your possession, I believe to be pictures of one of the 3 missing young men? Why are you so confident?
Well, so during the early stages of my investigation, okay, the questionnaires that I had laid forth to those that I had on ground, the response or responses to those questions coincides with the physical appearance of the decedent that was discovered. That's one. Number 2, based on the description, as in the dress code of the decedent that we're about to discuss tonight, he was properly identified by a reliable source whose name I will not call for now until I will give the honors to the Liberian National Police to address it in a not so distant future. And then if they don't, then of course there will be a round 2 for this discussion. But it is that I have no doubt, and if my doubts are wrong, then that creates a much more bigger problem, meaning we have another death that was apparently stumbled upon based on the investigation of the 3 missing men. But at this point in time, I have no doubt.
Tell us the possibility, how possible it is for you to be sitting in America to come on and determine to say, I know for a fact the body found is believed to be one of the 3 men.
Well, so point of correction, I cannot just say that a body found, well, yes, is believed to be one of the 3 men. So again, when it comes to forensic investigation, it is an investigation that has to be carried out professionally. You have to know what you're looking for. You have to be able to give the rightful instructions and coordinate the investigation as well. So it doesn't matter what, personally, if I'm sitting on the moon or if I'm in hellfire, okay? Once I have the link established, then I'm able to move forward with the investigation. And again, when we look at the pictures, okay, there are certain facts or forensic findings that I will be discussing as well to corroborate, the issue at hand. And the issue at hand here basically was that the individuals drowned. Okay, so again, just to make it clear, we have one body that has been discovered. I didn't say 3 bodies, okay, but 1 body. So we're going to discuss that, and then we'll also discuss, other possibilities, which I don't want to go into now without looking at the pictures. So in that way, the viewers will be able to follow along, and hopefully, the tension can calm down a bit, because I was watching one of those videos online, and I saw that people were being beaten as they tried to protest at the Simosis funeral home, and this is not a way for us to go. Okay, people are entitled to protest, but if they are being manhandled, then it doesn't speak well for the country. So again, like I said, hopefully, at the end of this discussion, we should be able to know a way forward.
Now, bring us up to speed. The body that you the photographs that you have in your possession. Is the body fresh? Does the body look as if this happened more than a week or 2 weeks? Describe for us the body that you have, the picture that you have in your possession.
Yeah. So there are several consistencies with that can be noted within the photograph. One, the body was submerged in water for over a week and a half, around the 2 weeks and a half time frame. Okay, that's one. The second fact is that body that was recovered, okay, that individual was submerged underwater, or has submerged underwater prior to his death. So what I'm saying is that it's not like it was somebody who, for example, was dead and then thrown into the St. Paul. And then also where the body was found now makes it a bit easier to see why is it that a person who drowned several days ago, or who, if a person drowns, why there's a possibility that they may not be recovered within 2 to 3, maybe 4 days time frame. And as we go through, I will be discussing from a forensic standpoint, and I'm also going to present the medical finding as in the pathophysiology, because when the normal functionality or physiology of the human body is altered, there are outcomes. Okay, so, and the science doesn't lie. So again, when we go through, the pictures, then of course we'll be able to understand.
I will allow my colleague, Shelton. Unmute your mic, please.
No, he's muted.
You might want to please unmute your mic, Shelton.
I don't know why you keep going. Okay, good. Doug, the pictures you have, do you see anything relatable to foul play? Like extraction of body parts, or if it was naturally removed based on the body being submerged under water, or fish ate body parts, or body parts missing because they were taken off by humans?
Well, yeah. So if I understood you correctly, So there's nothing on. I believe you are the act of a ritualistic killing, as we've been hearing around. So the current finding does not suggest any ritualistic act, but is in all support of drowning.
Has there been identification made, or is speculated that it's one of the guys?
Well, an identification was made by two reliable sources, and but I would not want to verge out those sources. But the fact that those sources did make the necessary identification, I am strongly convinced. Also, I don't know if you heard me earlier. The So during the preliminary parts of my investigation, the clothing match, okay, the dress code match, one of the decedents, and coincidentally, unfortunately, that identical dress code matches the decedent that we're going to be reviewing tonight.
Okay. Ashford?
Now, do you know St. Moses, Dr. Rockefeller Cooper?
Actually, I do.
Have you guys met before?
So I had to exhume my mother's body back in 2006. 2011. And I had hired his funeral home to carry out the process.
And what type of man, based on your interaction, what type of man you discern he was or he is?
Well, on a professional level, which we dealt in the past, he seemed to be fairly decent.
Now, let me ask you this. Have family members identified the body in question and confirmed the identity?
Well, actually, I was informed that family members have refused to appear to identify the body.
Now, what do you have now to show in terms of photographs of the body you believe to be associated with drowning? Can you please share the screen for us?
Okay, sure. So just give me a minute here, and you can let me know when, because I will not be able to see it. So you let me know when it appears, okay?
Okay. Folks, if you're just joining us, this is Ashford God Live, and we're coming your way from Detroit, Michigan, the United States of America. We're live on Top FM 105.3 in Sturgeon, Grand Judah County. We're also live on Live FM 104.1, 95.5 Super FM. We're live on Joy FM 101.5 as well. I have with me my professional colleague of VOLCANO SHELTON, a broadcast legend. Before you went out, Shelton, I was asking him if any.
I was about to ask him a question just before he posted the picture.
Okay, go ahead.
He said that the family, Doggy said the family refused to come and do identification.
No, I said that I was informed, because that was one of the first questions that I had asked. I was informed that the family basically had refused to come and make the identification.
So what that does for the investigation process, even now you're about to release these pictures, what does it do before you release the picture, is my thought, because they're not in agreement. We're trying to be, on the page of investigating, the course.
Well, I don't think that they are not in favor of identifying. There's been a lot of scary stories in court, okay, with regards to traditional practices being carried out. So that could be a reason as to why they're shying away. But to answer the core concept of your question, is not going to impede the investigation, because the identification can still be done based on the process of elimination. So basically, it's alleged that there were three men that got drowned, right? So the other families can still be contacted to make identification, and of course, those families would could deny that it is their relative, and it's going to boil down to only one individual. And so with regards to establishing identification, it can still be done directly or indirectly.
Now, see, mostly could be telling the truth about possible drowning of these three young men. And the relatives of these three young men still believe that their sons are still alive. Do you agree with the members of the family that the children are still alive?
Well, scientifically, I would say yes. And here's why. Because all means of identification have not been exhausted. What do I mean? So basically, DNA testing can be done on, family members as well as with the decedent. And if there is no match, meaning there's no DNA tie, then this has to do precisely with the parents, okay? Because from a genetic standpoint of view, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, meaning we have 46. So you get 23 from your mother and 23 from your father. Okay, and that's basically, from an elementary standpoint, that's why you can have the complexion of your father, but you resemble your mother, or height, hair texture, eye color, stuff like that. So DNA testing can be done. But if that is the case, like I was saying earlier, then now we have a wild goose chase, because it would mean that this. So there was also another drowning incident, because I don't know. Can you see the picture clearly?
There's no picture.
No, I did.
I don't see anything that you still have not put anything.
Okay, let me, because I tried to share the screen.
So we'll take a musical break as we get these pictures ready, folks. If you're just joining us, this is GARLEY Live on British Radio Africa. Stay tuned.
Okay. You see the picture?
I still don't see the pictures. We have to open another page.
No, I got it. Think it dropped down here. I don't know. The entire screen.
Lokutana ya mabe mama masumu double double. Kolinga moto zalili sumute kona nino driblenga boye yo.
I still don't see anything, Dad.
Yeah, I tried to reopen it.
Okay, go ahead and do that. While you do that, take a listen to a few bars of this. Go ahead and do that. Mr. Bill F. Timothy Senior, Amos Tubuson Jr., Paul and Ben, Momo Vaken, Veritier Lippens, Charles B. Yates, Clara Howard, Florence Booker, Abi Brahima Binda. Oh, man.
Hey, sugar. Ingénieur Toumba Kikela.
Okay, we're back and we see some type of image. Dr. Cooper, if you can fill us in terms of the pictures.
Okay.
You have a blank.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you, sir. And I see the body.
Okay.
Floating.
But it's not on screen though. I'm not sure. Actually,
It's on the screen from my end. Uh, viewers, if you are watching, can you see the body that in the water? Just say yes, please, so we can know that if you can see what we have right now on the screen. And if you can zoom that a little bit, Doc, that would be okay. Okay, darken what we say he can see the body. Okay, that's the body right there. Dr. Kuba, yes, please go ahead and tell us.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. So yeah. So basically, this was the picture that was taken. Now on the 29th, the body was discovered on the 29th of October. Okay, the body was discovered by locals, and then the police was notified. And I believe the police arrived on the 31st, so 2 days later. Okay. So,
can you please zoom on the image again, just for the viewers to see?
What, the previous one?
The previous one.
The previous body, or
the previous body before you go to this one. And we appreciate we can just zoom in on all of them, on all of the pictures you have. Yeah, that one.
Okay, I think I zoom enough. This is
okay.
Okay, yeah. So you see the body is floating, face down. So yeah, so I was shocked, but then as we, when I got the notification, I mean, I was shocked and surprised myself, But then when I zoom out, and when you look, you see you got like from the tree branches. So it's possible that like the person got drowned, the body did surface, but then it got stuck under branches or roots. Okay, and then when the body was removed from the from the river, of course you see it was laid out on what would be banana leaves. Okay, and you can see from the body texture. Okay, just as it was floating, face and head down, so you see the difference in color between the skin, okay, and you see the back, right? The back is, there's a difference in color, so and that's just because the person was face down. Now, when you move on to the next, if you take a look at this, the photo, you see, so you see a white foaming stuff on the face. So this is what we refer to as froth, and this comes about when water enters the lungs. So evidently, this person was alive. When they made contact with water, and of course when they were submerged, and this is a high indication of drowning. Now, these are pictures of the clothing.
Because of the.
I'm sorry?
Do you think because of the water being so murky? I said, do you think because the water is so murky, that's why it was difficult to find them?
Well, you're breaking up. I'm not getting you clearly.
Shelton, you're breaking. You're breaking, Shelton. You might please change your location to something, or amplify your device a little bit.
Okay. I will be back.
Okay, he'll be back. Now, you talk about the identification. What will possibly be the name of this person? I see the clothing. Now, the clothing, we can find out, we can ask people who know the clothing he had on before leaving Monrovia. It could be true that he did drown, but what is the identification of this person, Dr. Rockefeller Cooper?
Yeah, so based on my inquiry, it is alleged that this individual was the electrician by the name of Siafa Boima Kone was the last name. So yes. And so, because remember, like I said, when I started earlier, because what I was looking at was identification in terms of clothing to see what these individuals had on. And it was, one thing that a critical piece of information that I did receive was that they mentioned him before and said that he had on boots, because my concern was 6 people in a canoe, and only basically 3 could swim and 3 could not swim. Whatever odds that existed, all 6 gentlemen were confronted. But I don't know, I just couldn't understand at the time, how is it that 3 individuals were able to swim and 3 and 3 could not. Not saying that it is impossible, but I was just looking at the variables that were at stake. And so here we are.
Now, we were hoping that the Conans can call to identify this clothing, but it could be possible that this is just another body that was found in the waters. And earlier this morning, Mr. Blummer was on one of the local radio stations in Liberia, and he said he still believes that the young man is still alive. Dr. Cooper.
Well, yeah, again, it's not impossible. Remember, we're talking about a body here and not bodies. Okay. So, I would not say anything otherwise. One, he is entitled to his belief. There should be a reason as to why, he feels that way as well. But again, like I said, based on my inquiry, because what I wanted to know from my source was who this individual may have been, because there are a lot. You remember now we're looking at the Bongma Handy area, and then we are looking at what's been unfolding at the Simosis funeral home or funeral parlor, in terms of citizens protesting, which is their fundamental rights, but then they were being resisted, and some of them being arrested and taken away.
Dr.
I'm
Cooper,
sorry. Yes.
How did they come up with the conclusion that this was the electrician? Did it have any particular marks or identifier traits other than just the clothing?
Well, your phone is breaking. I don't know. There's a lot of screeching in the line. Hello?
Okay. I think it was Shelton, the nose. I said, how did they come up with the conclusion that this was the electrician? Did he have any particular marks or identifier traits other than the clothes that he was wearing?
So actually he was identified based on the clothing that he had on, and also there were 2 individuals who had identified him. As a matter of fact, one of the individuals, as I'm told, his son happens to be an apprentice of this decedent. So he was identified, and that's why that particular family was called to make the identification. Remember now, it's not like, Mr. Blummer was called, because evidently he would have voiced that during his radio interview. So if of the 3 families, a particular family was called, basically do the identification, means that there was a particular reason as to why that family was contacted.
Shelton?
Yeah, so Doc, my question, do you think it took this long because of the murkiness of the St. Paul River to find the remains? Because the water, you can see the water looks so murky.
Well, so when it comes to drowning, there are 2 types of drownings that we must take into consideration. You have your salt water, which of course is with the ocean, and then which has to do with stagnancy. Nonetheless, if you have other factors like current in the river, or it's near like a waterfall, or if at a point where the river dumps into the ocean, those are some of the factors that you have to take into consideration. But it's really hard to say, especially when you have to now also look at the depth. Okay, what was the tide of the river at the time versus at the time the individual got drowned versus the time they were discovered? Where did you find it? Did they drown in the area that was against the current? You know, there are so many variables to take into consideration. So it's a little difficult to say as opposed to your you know, your saltwater drowning.
Now, where is the body now, and who identified the body as the possibility of being the electrician? Where is the body now?
The body, I believe, is at the Solomon Tubing Funeral Home, as I was informed.
In Kakata?
That is in Kakata, yes.
Now, walk us through and tell us the possibility, because the two people that identified this body to be the electrician are not from the members. How they
yes. So,
prior?
Right. So yeah. So like I said, so one, you know, identification was made by locals based on the dress code. Okay. Because that was noted at the beginning when this investigation first started, and then also another individual who identified the body knew him because his son is an apprentice of this decedent.
Did your source tell you that there's still the folks trying to still look for the other folks, the other missing victims? Did your information tell you they're still searching?
Oh yes, yes. They are still searching. The search is still going on to see what they will come up with.
The other thing you said that really touched me is that how far is from Monrovia to Bon Mines? The body was discovered on the 29th, and police did not get there till the 31st.
Yeah, well, you have to understand that it's all about the police being notified. Okay, so the police was notified, and I guess they got there as early as they could. I'm sure you heard Mr. Blamo even telling you the other day about some of the challenges that they had to even transport the police. So maybe it was due to logistics. You know, we really can't say. But bottom line is, after the discovery, they were notified.
I know a lot of listeners here tonight will not believe you. I can see some of the writings right now on the wall. They're still questioning, and they're wondering, why are you coming here tonight to make this declaration and show some of these pictures? How could you defend that?
Well, it is simple. First and foremost, my job as a professional is not to appease the mindset of others. It is to discuss the facts. And one of the critical facts that I am concerned with is citizens being manhandled, as we saw, before the Simoses funeral parlor the other day. Which there was nothing wrong with them protesting, but I do not want to see fellow Liberians get hurt. You must understand, and I've said this time without numbers, forensics is not a household item in Liberia. As we currently speak, there is no Liberian who is more forensically trained than I am, or equally trained as I am. And that's one of the reasons why I went into this profession. So, so when it comes to forensics, we don't have, personal friends and stuff, we deal with the issues that matters. And so, of course, if I strongly believe if I was to come and say, well, to say something that would appease them, then of course they would believe. So, but again, they don't understand the language. Okay, it is not. And when it comes to investigation, we do not look at personal, your personal feelings. We look at, or your personal opinions, but rather we look at the facts. So, and that's why when you asked, the question you asked, earlier, which I believe you were alluding to, acts of ritualism, I quickly did that. And there are more. There are more pictures. It's just that they are so gruesome, and that's why I don't want to display. But this individual did not undergo any, act of ritualism. Okay. Whether this is one second. Even if this is someone else who had drowned, okay, and we're still looking for 3 individuals. This individual and this individual just so happened to wear the same dress clothes, as in the same shoes, the same pants, the same shirt, okay, and is structured the same physical appearance wise as one of the individuals. I will still tell you that they did not undergo any act of ritualism. So I just thought it wise to add that part to it.
How did you get involved? Are you working for the government of Liberia, or you representing St. Moses, or you just doing a pro bono job? How did you get involved into this?
Well, this is not none of the above. So I'm a forensic fanatic. Well, first of all, I am a Liberian who wants to see Liberia go, do better. Number 2, I'm a forensic fanatic. So there are a lot of discoveries that I've made with a lot of cases that that the people who should be in possession of those information are not in possession of, and I can tell you that for a fact. So when it comes to these cases, I mean, in fact, and again, a lot of people in Liberia know the work that I do. So sometimes I get free information, and then I put the wheels in motion. Okay, so this is just something that I do. For example, there was a hanging death at the police station at Tinkers Village, but we didn't hear a lot. Well, the rest of the people, I guess, did not hear a lot about it because we had the death of the auditor. So those death cases kind of overshadowed that case. To make a long story short, in review, the police was at the verge of being held responsible for this individual's death. And from my own personal investigation, that should not be the case. Okay, and I can prove a million reasons why you cannot hold the Liberia National Police responsible for the hanging death of that individual. But that's a topic for another day. So I get it. I don't work for anybody. I work for myself, basically. And like I said, because of my love and passion for forensics, I just do my own private investigation, and I've been doing this for years. So basically, that's where we are.
So how did you obtain the pictures? Do you have a team on the ground, or I am a forensic scientist, somebody died, you send me the pictures so I can tell you how the person died?
Well, basically, I operate under disguise. All I can say is that I have my sources. Okay, so when things happen, there are a lot of, trust me, when something happens in Liberia, as far as questionable death, I am one of the first individuals, to obtain the facts.
Well, I have a question.
Okay, Sheldon, you asked a question. You just announced the number. You can begin calling on, folks. The telephone number to call is 248-979-1718, and tell your concerns as well. Go ahead, Shelton.
Dr. Cooper, what is your track record of getting it right? Say, looking at your forensic evidence and drawing the conclusion, even though you're not on the grounds, and I personally am not questioning your credential, your experience, so forth, but just for the general public and our folks, how they view things. What is your track record of getting it right?
My track record basically, wow, I would say it's spectacular, and I'll tell you why. So let's go back to the Angel Tukpa case involving Hans William and Maggie Peku. To make a long story short, after putting pen to paper, the ECOWAS court, had them set free. We fast forward and we come down to Victoria Zeze, okay, who died in police custody. Okay, this young lady committed suicide, but yet officers were being blamed for her death. I did an article on that as well. And when the Nebraska Institute of Forensic Science came to Liberia to conduct the autopsy, well, actually, they came to do the autopsy on Harry Greaves, and then they end up doing a second autopsy on Victoria Zizi. Their findings coincided with the article that I had put out long ago. Several other cases. I was in Liberia last year for the Odell Sherman case. Okay, I was in possession of, and I'm still in possession of facts that will speak, that will raise a lot of questions in this case. But oh well, it went the way that I guess people thought that it should have gone. And so, and then we have some other cases which I would not like to address now until those cases have been closed. Okay, but of course I see them differently. And then here we are now with the issue involving drowning. Okay, and so we have a body that was discovered which matches one of the individuals who went missing. So, and again, Shelton, like I said, I walked away from a PhD program to go into forensics, all for the betterment of Liberia. So that alone in itself should tell you the passion that I have. Okay, I work forensics here in the U.S. I mean, I've cases, drowning, suicide, homicide, natural death, overdose, motor vehicle accident, crime staging. Okay, multiple crime scenes, involvement. I mean, I've seen it all. So I'm well versed in this. That's something that you must take into notation as well. It's not a fly by night issue.
Dr. Cooper, yes, a very unique and small country. Speaking about the case of Odell Sherman, people have had a lot to say about your integrity and credibility.
Yes, and at the end of the day, they also had a lot to say about Dr. Roger Mitchell as well, who was the one that performed the autopsy. So, again, the truth never dies. So like I said, right, okay, I'm in possession of the facts. And I've actually been contemplating on, a story on the Odell Sherman issue, but I have it on the back burner until I have the rightful drive. And it's simply because of the way in which I'm treated by the white man as opposed to the way I'm treated by my fellow Liberians. That's why I have not yet put pen to paper. But again, I have the facts, and the facts are to state what happened, or the facts will state what happened and not who did what. I know exactly what happened to Odell, but I can support in any competent court of law, but I cannot say who did what, because that now leads to repetition and all that other unnecessary stuff. So the proof is in the pudding. All right. They had the worst thing to say, and at the end of the day, they still started to go Dr. Mitchell as well.
We want to go to the telephone line.
Yeah, we are.
We want to say a big thank you to Top FM 105.3. Based out of Virtual Grand Julia County. That means the entire Southeast is covered. We're in Sano, we're in Maryland, we're in Grand Crew. We're also in River G and Grand Julia County. We also want to say a big thank you to Joy FM 101.5. Want to say a big thank you to Live FM 104.1, Super FM 95.5. You are not on the internet. You are listening to radio via your radio stations. All right. And just like that, we have easy 1.5 million listeners right now. The telephone number to call is 248-979-1718. We have Ali on the line. Ali, hello and welcome to the show.
Yes, my brother. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks the two guys in the studio. Something alarms me to call. I have a couple of questions, but my first question is, Dr. Cooper said that there's no Liberian forensic that is trained as him or compared to him. That kind of, alarmed me a little bit as to his, so many things. Dr. Cooper, how do you know that there is no Liberian forensic as educated in the field of forensic science than you? Another question I have for you is, you said back in the day that you graduated from a University of Alabama, if I'm correct, but because you were delinquent in paying your tuition, they did not give you your clearance as a pathologist, or So can you now say you are a pathologist? Have you gotten your money? My third question is, have you gotten your certificate? My third question is, what is your expertise? And as far as if somebody's getting drawn, how does it relate to your profession? We're talking about over 2 weeks, and all of a sudden our body is floating. What is your opinion in that direction? From my research, as I look at it, it should not be more than 4 days for a body to float over water. 3 to 4 days maximum.
Thank you.
And yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aliyu. We have Ivan George. Hold on. Let's take 2 more calls, then you can come in. I want you taking the notes down. Ivan George is on the line. Hello, Ivan.
Yeah, my name is Alvin George, and I'm from New Jersey. And I just want to tell you thank you for the information. Like the podcast, and Moses is my uncle. I'm taking more interest in this case here. It's my first time taking interest in this case because it's very close to him. And Moses, I know him for 32 years. This year, October 18, maybe 32 years. And I just want the doctor and did you try any type of ways for you to get the 3 families involved in the investigation, and why do you think that they did not want to identify the body? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ivan. We also have 7149, the last 4 digits of your number. Please tell us your name.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel, for having me. I'm Darling Wawu. So I have just 2 questions for the doctor, for Dr. Cooper.
Okay.
Dr. Cooper, I have been following the case for close to 3 weeks. If this body been in the water for over 2 weeks, how possible is it that body will be in water with crocodile and fish and everything in the water, and even the level of time is still in the water? How possible is it that body was still in water over 2 weeks and still be inside?
Hold on, sir.
Body looks like
Hold on, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Can you hold on? Somebody else is speaking, sir. Please hold on. Go ahead, darling.
My second question has to do with you, Dr. Cooper. The Liberian people got a simple parable. They say, experience don't suffer for justice. You call yourself the only qualified forensic pathologist in Liberia. Why are you always suffering for justice? Why are you always fighting looking for cases? Why people don't look for you, you always look for your own case?
Thank you. Thank you. We have a 243 number. This is an OSC call. The last 3 digits of your number, 023. Please tell us your name.
Hello, Ashford. Hi.
Hello. Tell us your name, please.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the radio.
Yeah, okay. Hello,
Hold on, folks. I am talking about the international number. The area code is 243. What is your name?
My name is Maxwell Sone. I'm calling you from Kinshasa.
Kinshasa Zaire. Go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, I need a bit of clarification here. I have a question for the doctor. I just want to know in what capacity is he performing these inquiries or investigation? Has he been hired by the government or by the family or Moses, or he just doing an independent investigation?
Thank you.
And I want to know also, why has he not created interest in other cases, homicide cases, other than this one? So I just need some clarification on that. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a 401 number. The last 4 digits of your number, 5493. Tell us your name.
Yeah, my name is Tony Reeves. I'm calling from Rhode Island province. I just wanted to thank the doctor. Thank you. I know forensic, I know how it looks, especially when when people get drowned. Sometimes I have seen people get drowned and it take months, and maybe sometimes they can't even find the body. I think the doctor is right, and I agree with him. I positively agree with him. He trained in that era, so we shouldn't doubt what he's saying. I think the forensic, the photograph I saw, I believe what the doctor is saying. Liberia, especially Monrovia, and especially the St. Paul, I know that's the St. Paul River, they get a lot of swamp and mango, so this is how Liberia look, we get swamp, mango, connected with ocean, so it's possible that somebody can get drowned and it take weeks or maybe months, maybe you may not be able to find the body.
Thank you.
But one of the main important things is identification. The family need to come and identify the body and make sure this body
Thank you.
is the person that got drowned. But from the photograph I saw, I hopefully believe the doctor, he know what he's doing. If I influencing, sometimes people go on the scene, they don't really see what they're supposed to see.
Okay, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. The point well taken. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Let us go to Emmett from Minnesota. You live on the radio.
Thank you, Peter. I just want to ask.
You might want to please speak a little bit louder, Emmett.
I just want to ask the doctor a question for them following the matter for up for 2 weeks. Is it possible for somebody to get drowned in the water and spend more than 2 weeks before it gets surfaced, and will that body being the kind of form we see it in today? The second question has to do with remote investigation. I've been heard about it in other of my life. I just want to know a little bit about the remote investigation, where you can sit in America and investigate a matter in Liberia without doing a DNA test. So I think the doctor is trying to play with people intelligence.
Thank you.
And I love the question he asked, where he said the doctor had to explain. He said whether he knew that Mr. Moses and the relationship with Moses. That was a very good question on your class. And
thank you. Koto Balayan is on the line from New York. Koto, hello. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, hi. How you doing today?
Good.
Okay, I want to thank the doctor in studio for his great work done, from his analysis. Okay, I can understand that he
She went off. We also have a 267. Yeah, hello. You're live on the radio. Go ahead and make your point. Okay, I think we got her back. Go ahead, Koto. Sorry, we got disconnected for some reason. Yeah, go ahead with your question, please.
Yeah, like I was saying, I want to thank you for the job he has done so far. Okay, my question is, when you asked him, he said he's doing the job. He's doing whatever it is, the forensic on his own. But when it is done by him, who does he report to, or who is responsible to pay him when he goes about doing this, the forensic? Because when I heard him, he was like, the government did not hire him, the family did not hire him, and if Moses did not hire him, then who is he doing the job for?
Thank you.
Yeah? Thank you so much.
Thank you. He has to be a different kind of human being. I mean, I don't let the work for free, but he let the work for free. Let's go back to the doctor.
Which one?
Let her allow the doctor to answer the questions. We'll come back to you, Shelton.
Hello?
Dr. Rocket.
The reason I was saying I was calling your attention is that because there were questions over. So I want to, I bring up the doctor to read some of the questions. That's all.
Okay, hold on. Hold that thought. Data is very expensive in Liberia. We have a caller from Liberia. 231 is the area code. The last 3 digits of your number, 248. Tell us your name. You're live on the radio.
Good evening.
Hello. Tell us your name, please.
My name is Joseph Quella. I'm calling from Liberia.
You live on the radio. Go ahead and make a point.
My question to the doctor is that I have been following his exposure this evening, but I just want to know from him that as he's clearly stated that he's a pro bono forensic professional. I would like to know, with this investigation that is carrying out, what interest actually does he have in this investigation with that of the auditors that have died? Why is he not talking anything about that? Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go back to you, Shelton, then we'll go to the doc.
Yeah, so Doc, the first guy who called and said that he called because you cited that you are the most learned forensic pathologist to come out of Liberia. And he did his research indicating that you did not graduate, I believe, from Alabama. I don't know if Alabama State or the University of Alabama, because you were owing your tuition, and so you apparently did not receive your diploma. And I think that was about 2. He asked the third question that had to do with the cause of death. How could you have determined it?
Okay, yeah. So let me address. So his facts are not in order. So last year when I went to Liberia, after submitting all of my credentials, the issue came about because I had presented it. Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I had presented a letter of attestation after I completed my medical studies for paying the school out of pocket. My school did a letter of attestation, to verify my completion until I had paid off my balance owed, and then they were going to release my diploma. In addition to that, they received my documentations from the University of Florida to show my competence as far as forensics is concerned. So, but of course, there were obstacles that were brought, obstacles up, obstacles that I do not face yet in the United States. So I guess the standards of carrying out forensic work in Liberia is higher than the standards of carrying out forensic work in the United States. So be it. Liberia is an independent country. So as far as it, so as far as the whole thing with my school, that was the situation. Now, I did not claim to be a forensic pathologist. I'm a forensic scientist, apart from being an MD. And my concentration is in forensic death investigation. And like I said before, and I will say again, I am the only trained Liberian forensic scientist that you have. The reason here is Liberians tend to shy away from death investigation simply because you are dealing with dead bodies. So, and unfortunately, in most parts of Africa, playing with the dead is considered to be a taboo. So, and that is an undisputed fact. So, that is to address his, his point. When prior to going to Liberia last year, the family of Odell Sherman was told to bring in their own forensic specialists. In this day and time, where would a family get the funding from to hire such a service? So being a Liberian and with people who know the type of work that I do here in the United States of America, I was contacted, and that's how I got involved in the whole thing. So that's that. Moving on, the last caller, he has a very the last two callers, the lady, I believe she was talking about me working pro bono. Yes, I'm not working for anyone, not working pro bono. Pro bono is where you get involved and you say that you're going to work for free. This is just, as a Liberian, I'm entitled to understand exactly what is going on in my home country, and it's free information. All I do is I use my expertise for my own understanding and to help with restoring peace. In 2016, when Harry Greaves died, okay, as it was reported that he died of drowning, the tension was building up in the country. Okay, opposition parties felt that the members were basically being targeted, because prior to Harry Greaves' death, you also have Michael Allison. So now you had 2 deaths on the beach. But I was on the Costa show, and I talk about death investigation and the changes, okay, that occur. And a lot of people were able to understand exactly what transpired. So I'm not one of those Liberians who sit abroad and don't care about what's going on back home. I'm not one of those. Okay. So I was able to address the nation, and people were able to understand. All right. Here we are again. We know what is happening. People talking about going down, they want to go and to burn down, a facility. They're also talking about being threatened by the Liberian National Police, that they've been giving orders, to shoot. Is that what we want to see going on in Liberia?
Are you still on?
In Africa as a whole. Hello.
Yeah, you're still live. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so I was saying that, one thing I've come to notice about forensics in Africa is that accepting the fact can be very difficult. And I get it, because again, not everyone studies forensics. Okay. It's like, example, you go to the hospital and they tell you that, you know what, your loved one is sick. They've got 6 months to live. Okay. All medical indication tells you that the person, they're going downhill. You say, well, okay, I'm going to take him to the traditionalist, and that's it. They're going to recover no matter what. And they don't recover. Then what happens? So, we see this happening time in and time out. Okay. But the facts always present itself. One of the callers also he questioned the possibility of finding the remains of a person who has drowned for at least a 2 weeks time frame. Well, so it depends on the type of drowning, which I believe I talked about earlier. Drowning in the ocean is not the same as drowning in seawater. Okay, it's not the same as drowning in a river. As a matter of fact, it's difficult drowning in the ocean just because of the viscosity, the thickness of the water that has to do with the salt. So, there's a difference there. Okay, drowning in fresh water versus drowning in seawater. Anybody who studied, again, forensic death investigation will tell you this is like element forensics, 101, elementary forensics.
Okay.
So with the questions that were coming, I can understand the concern.
I will allow my colleague to come in, Shelton, but folks, just so you know, the telephone number to call is 248-979-1718. But Dr. Cooper, people are saying that you're a hustler. You going.
Your line is breaking.
Okay, Dr. Cooper, people are saying you're a hustler. You're going after some most of them say, you know what, I can help you put this behind you. And you have been tampered with financially. That's why you're on this case. Why don't you think the criticism is valid?
Wait. No, I can't. Can you repeat that? I didn't hear you.
People are saying you are a hustler. You claim to be the guy that loves Liberia. You're not representing the government. You're not representing St. Moses. But it is alleged now that you went after St. Moses to say, you know what, I can help put this behind you. You have been tampered with financially, according to our sources. Why don't you think this is valid?
I think he's frozen. Apparently his network is creating problems. Yeah, but actually this is intriguing right now,
Very intriguing.
Hopefully he logs back in.
Yeah,
But
go ahead.
there's a lot of concerns here. I'm looking through some of the writings. One person says that the doctor's preliminary finding is drowning. However, more pathological testing need to be done. Just visualizing the body is not enough, and that's their opinion. And it's kind of difficult here when you remotely trying to give credibility to something, and especially when the security apparatus on the ground is not forthcoming. You come to think about it, the body was found since the 29th. We're November 2nd. 5 days later, but they got to the scene on the 31st. How can we continue to give excuses for logistics? How can we continue to give excuses because we're brain drained? How far is from Monrovia to Hindi? The road is paved. I heard they paved the road from Kakata to Beaumont. So how far is it? That it would take 2 additional days, especially the sensitivity of the issue. So you're back? Are you?
Yeah, he's back. And I want to go back. Sheldon, please meet your right. That listen, it is alleged now that you have been tampered with. Not surely. Just to come in,
okay,
and speak on behalf of those who were accused. Why don't you think the allegation is valid?
Well, the thing here, Ashford, is this. Remember now, I'm a Liberian. And we as Liberians are always captivated by what I call the typical Liberian syndrome. And that basically has to do with a constipated memory and a diarrhea of words. We don't process. Okay? If I was to come here and say what people want me to say, then of course I would be the best person ever. But I don't work for anyone. I do my own, and again, as a Liberian, I am entitled to do whatever I want to do that any Liberian is entitled to doing. Why is it that other Liberians have not gotten up to do their own investigation? So, I don't give credence to that, to say that I've been tampered with. Okay, tampered with by who? Because you see, here's the thing: when you say tamper, when you listen, as this story has been unfolding over the past couple of weeks, people have accused Moses. People have accused, the Liberian National Police as well. So who am I being I'm tampered with by who? Okay, and again, they are entitled to their opinion. So I presented the facts. There is a questionable death here. An individual was found face down in a river. This individual shows signs of drowning, and not recently, as in a day or two. This individual also is attired in identical clothing that were noted on one of the individuals who is now missing. I didn't go to drown someone in Liberia. I did not instruct that individual to wear a particular type of clothing. And I didn't stop any other Liberian out there to have carry out an investigation. So if anything, if we're talking about being tampered, who is more patriotic here? One who is to watch, to watch the news or to join a podcast and to just spew garbage, or the one who is actually taking actions for the betterment of Liberia? Because like I said, I would like to see this fully addressed so that people do not process. And this is not accusation. We all saw what happened at this funeral parlor, I believe it was last week, when Liberians were exercising their rights. Next thing I know, the police were firing tear gas. People were being put into the back of a pickup. Is that what we want? So, you know, I mean, they are entitled to their opinion, and this is not my first, you know, my first rodeo. Okay, so I mean, you know, let people say what they want to say.
We'll go to Shelton and then go back to the telephone line. Shelton.
Yeah, this is an important question. So, Doc, don't you think that coming out now is premature on your end, because this is more circumspective? But the second part of that, will just fuel the fire more, create more demonstration, because people are saying that this is a cover-up to protect, you know, Moses or the accused. What's your take on it?
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. Now, if I was to employ ignorance, okay, I would say that, okay, maybe it's a cover-up, but my level of professionalism especially in the field of forensics would not allow me to do so. In Liberia, a lot of us were in Liberia during the war. So let's put the whole professionalism aside. You can see your body and you can know if that person been dead from few days prior or if that person was recently killed. And there's nobody in a sound mind who will body and say that, oh, this person was just killed and tossed in. Unless they're trying to insinuate that around the time that those individuals went missing, somebody else was undressed and made to put on clothes similar to what one of the missing individuals had on and was then drowned. Now, does that make any sense at all? I'll leave that for the listening audience to address.
Okay, Dr. Cooper, we want to go back to the telephone line now. You say you are a Liberian, you love Liberia. 4 auditors died. You never had a live show. These are Liberians. But all of a sudden, 3 young men are missing. Yeah, you are now in your possession with photographs that believed to be one of the victims, according to you. Why you've taken key on this particular incident? The 4 auditors that died are Liberians too. And you say you love the kind of work, you love to play with
that is correct.
You love to play with dead bodies. A lot of people don't do this kind of job. This is what you chose to do. Why you never said anything about the 4 auditors that died? All of a sudden you are in this because, according to what we gather, somebody will somehow wet your palm with money. Dr. Cooper.
But okay, let me answer your question. Okay, beginning with the latter part of your statement. So, okay, 4 auditors died. Okay, and people have been in different podcasts. People have been saying or accusing the government of being involved. Now, don't you think that the government would have been able to wet my palm more than whoever that decided to wet my palm now? But that question was rhetorical. That you don't have to waste your time to answer. I think we all know the answer to that. The fact that I have not commented, okay, there's a reason for that.
Because you left to my money business.
Auditors, when those okay, nothing wrong with that. When those auditors died, you remember that they were autopsied, right? Do you recall that?
Yes.
I think they said
okay.
The autopsy.
So the report has before the. I'm sorry.
They said the autopsy was done at St. Moses, the funeral home.
Wait.
Is that verified? ASHFORD.
Your phone breaking up, Shelton.
No, I thought it said that the autopsy was done at St. Moses funeral home for the auditors. or 2 or more.
Well, yes, but what? Right, yes, the autopsy was was done at Moses Funeral Parlor. But what I just said was the autopsy report has okay. So it will be premature now for me to come out and say anything. I have a lot to say, but we must wait until the report comes out at first. You see, and and the circumstances here are different. It was alleged that 3 individuals got missing. One person was discovered on the 29th of October. Okay, wearing similar clothing as the one that was last seen on one of the individuals who is now missing. So my thing here was to make this revelation so that because we need to understand exactly what is happening. On the other hand, you had 2 auditors that were found dead in a vehicle on Broad Street. Okay, their bodies were taken in, and rightfully so, by the government, and they were to be autopsied in Liberia. A report must come out. You cannot just come out and say anything. The report must come out. Then, once the report is out, we can address the facts and findings. So, and even if I decided not to show interest in the case of the 4 auditors, even if I decided not to do so, remember, I'm a freelancer. I'm not obligated to. So, but that is to say, but again, when the report comes out, I can assure that there will be a discussion on the facts. So I hope I've answered that, and we can lay that to rest.
We waited 5 callers on hold. Now we have 5 callers on the line. Let us go back to the telephone line now. Wait for me to call you near. I know you want to talk. The last 4 digits of your number is 0356. Please tell us your name.
Hello, I'm David calling from Pennsylvania.
You're live on the radio. Go ahead and ask the question, please.
I got 2 questions to ask.
Reduce it to 1. I beg. I know you got. Listen, my brother. I know you got a few questions.
Okay, no
reduce it to
problem.
1. Yeah, plenty of people in line. Thank you.
To the studies of forensic also study the location or the environment, because it's completely different environment on the water. There are a lot of things living there, and this body goes there, stay there for 13 days, without being touched or being eaten by anything. They got different kind of fish. They got different kind of crocodile, alligator, river right there. It's a very huge river that composes a lot of different species of living things on there. And the other day I heard even that backpack the backpack was on the body. I don't know if that's true, but I overheard that the backpack. A drowning person cannot leave a penalty on him. Once he's drowning, the first thing he want to take off is weight that are on him. So can the Pastor, please address I answer that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me answer that question quickly, Ashford, because his question.
Dad, you not do this. Please write it down. Write that question down. I beg you. I got you that being.
Okay, no, I have it. I'll answer.
Write it down. I beg you. You did that technician. Hold on.
Hello.
Can you hold on? Let me call your name. If you don't hold on, I'll cut you off. I beg you. We don't talk together. We can sing together. You say the man technician. You don't find no screwdriver in the man pocket. How you know the man technician? How you know the man technician? Let's go to the telephone line. 2359. Tell us your name.
Thank you. This is Mr. Brown calling from Florida. Thank you so much. We are following you too long throughout the process of the missing children in Liberia. And I know the doctor over there, I want to ask you a question. You said he loves Liberia very well. So for this reason, he's doing a favor. Is he willing, after his finding, to release the transcripts of his investigation? And my second question to him is this. How much does it cost to conduct the investigation that he conducted? If so, who ought to write the cost? Thank you.
Thank you. The man said he let it work for free. So, I mean, we'll find out. Murphy is on the line from Minnesota. Murphy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ashford. I just got two comments, a question, but I'm really disappointed. When the doctor says he's a forensic scientist, it means science. He comes and tell us that somebody other than the family identified the body, and the person is supposed to be a friend, with a son to the friend, or blah blah blah. The first thing that is Ashford, these people went on by Moses' acquiescence. There has been never a time in the story that somebody friendly with them that know what kind of clothes he wore or how can he be identified. Now we see the clothes, but just the clothes. So the person from the where they used to live, or the person from the town the person died. I won. And SHELTON was right. He defending the police of not having logistics. They told them 29th that they found body. The reason why the police going down there to investigate, we found a body here on the 29th, but police didn't go there till the 31st. When SHELTON asked, he said, maybe no logistics. Something wrong. Ashford. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Marshall is on the line from Philadelphia. Marshall, welcome to the show.
Yeah, my name is Marshall. My name is Jimmy C. Marshall from Philadelphia.
You're live on the radio. Go ahead and make a point.
Question for Arthur. We should be bringing the doctor on your show. Because in the first place, in the case of Injured Topa, when Injured Topa people hired this guy and he went down to Monrovia, the government of the Republic of Liberia disqualified him. That he was a handbag forensic. He was not qualified, he was not credible enough to perform any autopsy on the body. Therefore, today, we want him to perform forensic on the body that just happened in the case of Timothy. What is the connection between him and Timothy, or what is the connection between him and the family member of the body? But all in all, what we know about him is that he is not qualified. Because the Liberian government has disqualified him already in the case of Injured Topa. Isn't that so? So the young man is not qualified. So anything he's doing a small cover, something Moses to come and bring some result to the Liberian people. We don't want him in our process. Let him get away from the process.
Thank you.
Because he has been already disqualified by the Liberian government.
Thank you, sir. Now, one more caller, and then we'll go back to you, Dr. Rockefeller. Tell us your name. It's a 508 number.
Yeah, Giant, I called and asked my question, and your data that you brought in, deliberately answered my question.
Who is this? What is your name?
My name is Darling Wahoo.
Okay, darling, go ahead again. What kind of man again call darling?
Make sure he answers my question.
Then they call you darling. How can a man need darling? Yeah, go ahead, ask the question.
This valley has been in the water for over 2 weeks. How possible is it for a valley to be in water for over 2 weeks and still be in sight? Please, let me answer my question.
Thank you. Okay, let us go overseas now. It's a 316 number. Tell us your name. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're live on the radio. Tell us your name and where you join us from tonight.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, ma'am. What is your name and where
Hello,
are you calling
can you hear
from?
me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead and make your point.
Hi, this is Lisa calling from Amsterdam.
You're live on the radio. Go ahead and ask a question, please. Ma'am, do not listen to the receiver. Please listen through the telephone. I know you're calling from Amsterdam.
Okay, I would like to ask the doctor, if someone gets drowned, after 2 weeks, it's no way your body is going to be white up and brown down. That's one. And second, what would the doctor say? He didn't die from ritual killing. How do you know?
Thank you.
Hello? How do you know? Please, doctor, you don't have to come here. We are all grieving. You don't have to come here and try to find excuse for phimosis. Like I'm talking, I'm so angry because that could be my brother. It could be my son. So you don't have to come here and bring excuses for phimosis. We are all grieving. You are Liberian. It could be your own family member. So you cannot come in and say it's not ritualistic killing. How do you know the person died because they were breathing? How do you know that? You just saw a picture and you determine already what killed the person. Please, if you don't know what you are talking about, don't come here to come and hurt our feelings.
I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to Doctor now. Doctor, go ahead.
Actually,
Man,
I need to respond.
Wait,
Yes. Let me
hold on,
respond.
Hold on, Doc.
Don't say no.
That we got enough time tonight. Hold on. Shelton.
But questioning overload. Ashford is questioning overload. Too many people ask, then the doctor will lost track.
No, that's why it is in that's why for doctor, they may not doctor. He
No, you're overloading. I'm not going to say that one whole kind of question. It's very too much. The poor asked the question, no answer because the other caller was right. I didn't answer his question because it overloaded. You see, and these questions they can be addressed.
You're winning that easy, doctor. We easy tonight.
So let me address the last call point. So my dear sister, you are actually and completely wrong when it comes to drowning death. But again, I understand. You know, you're coming from on science. Okay, the human body changes based on the interaction with water and the type of water. Now, let me say this as well. There are way more pictures that I have, but due to the gruesome nature, I did not post, display all of those photos. And I'm saying this to also address one of the callers who are talking about, I guess he was trying to describe animal activity. Yeah, there's activity on the body to show that, the body was being bitten, okay, by be it fish or whatever. So that's that. So, my dear, unfortunately, this is nothing personal. And you're right, I am a Liberian as well. And because I'm a Liberian who has Liberia at heart, that's why I went into the field of study that I did. So I hope that, I've addressed your concern, okay? In order to understand this entire process, you've got to go through the actual rituals and pay your dues. Okay, the investigation is a unique area of study. So that's that. Now, your caller, the old man I was on the line who said I was disqualified by the government of Liberia for being an injured took my case. That is absolutely not true. I don't know where he got that information from. First of all, your government of Liberia does not have the authority to disqualify me because you do not have a certification board in Liberia that has to do with forensics. So you do not have the entity to qualify nor disqualify. So you need to go and get your facts straight. You want me to come here and to say that and to make false allegations that will appease, okay, the public. And I don't do that. I'm a professional, okay? I'm not one of the socialites. So unfortunately, I cannot make your day. So just take it like that and leave it, okay? The other individual wanted to know how is it that the body will be drowned. And I think that Darling, right? The fellow Darling wanted to know how the body would drown and would not surface. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. Darling.
Okay. Yeah, I lost you.
Yeah, you need Darling.
Yeah. So dear Darling, you must understand that there are actions that take place underwater, and you're right. There's a difference when you're drowning in the ocean versus drowning in the river, especially where you have shrubs and tree trunks and mangroves and stuff like that. I don't know if you saw the first photograph that was shown where the body was found. And it is not possible for someone to have played. Remember, this is not a fresh body where someone just threw it in today and then decided to make noise that, has been found drowned. Because even if they did that, that would have to be as a separate case. Because remember now, people are drowning all over the world, all over the country. Okay, so this is based strictly on the scientific facts. I believe, I don't know if there's any other question that I'm missing, because we did have a question overload.
Okay, hold on.
Shelton, do you recall any other question?
Hold on. Shelton got help me out. My question is saying that I'm saying the two more questions. Yeah, and go ahead, Shelton, help me out.
Wait a minute. So Dr. Cooper, one of the caller asks whether your independent findings, will you be willing to release your independent findings to help aid the investigation?
Well, it depends, and it depends on how the investigation goes. And here's an example: if this case was sealed, then of course an investigation is not going anywhere. Then of course we will now recommend the issue of DNA testing to establish. Let's assume if no other body is found, and like I said, the case is sealed, okay? Then those will be issues to raise, like DNA testing, to understand, was this an isolated case where somebody drowned who was dressed similarly like one of the individuals that's missing, and who is also struck, physically structured as that individual as well? Then we'll have to do it, because remember that this is all from a scientific standpoint. On the other hand, I'm not obligating to doing anything. I can review the facts. Those who want to listen will listen. Those who are entitled to listen. Those who do not want to listen do not have to listen, because remember, I'm not working for anyone. So legally, I don't owe anyone anything. If that answers the question.
That 2 weeks in the water, St. Paul River. The fish then in that water there are desperate. They ain't eat the body up. The body appeared to be intact. In fact, put that body up again, because some people just come in so they can see that body again. They ain't eat the body, eyeball, everything.
But we don't know, Ashford. We don't know. The doc said there are more graphic pictures.
Well,
that we need to see more pictures, please.
Yeah, he said there are graphic pictures.
Yes. Here's the thing. It would not be professional to display all of the photos. Okay. I intentionally selected the photos that I did, because one, out of respect for the decedent. The photos that I selected was to show that a body was found. The individuals.
Good.
Hello, are we there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we're here for you tonight. Hey, we're here.
Yes, and I also mentioned. Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Hello.
Yeah,
you go ahead. You live on the radio. We're still listening to you, Dad. Go ahead, talk. Keep talking.
He's frozen again.
Dad, you there? You're talking now.
Yeah, so actually, I think some of those pictures may be very graphic, and like you said, for respect of the deceased, better not to show some of them. In as much as I'm seeing a lot of Liberians here tonight, your viewers and listeners are anxious to see these pictures. We also got to understand that even here in the great U.S., when they're ready to show something, all the warnings they gave, and then they just show something just to corroborate that.
And we get one in earlier before the show.
Something has taken place. So the whole idea was to establish that a body was found, and that body is suspected to be one of the victims. But we don't have to go in detail to show whether fish ate private part, whether this. He's already confirmed that there was no ritualistic act because of the pictures he has. But he did confirm that there was some, parts you could see bite marks poked by maybe fish or water animals that may have tampered with the body. But that's not important. What is important here, just summing up everything, is it's kind of like hard for you and I, Ashford. Question to the doctor. I hope you can hear me from here as he tries to get back on, and I will ask again. When he got this kind of information, did he then reach out to the family? In as much as they didn't want to go to identify the bodies, right? Did he make any effort to reach out to the family and say, you know, from my forensic background, I'm reaching out to you guys because it's important for you guys to identify, you know, the bodies so that we can move on with this investigation rather than come dependently tonight to display some of these pictures on what I would consider not very much factual information. While it is true he received pictures, his two sources told him that it is one of the guys. But it's not coming. We don't know if it's coming from the police. We don't know who it's coming from. So that makes it kind of difficult.
Okay. You know, the data, hold on. Yes.
So people are asking to bring Blamo on.
Yeah, I'm on radio. Did you call to be a part of the show tonight, sir? Randall, did you go? Yeah, no people doing show. They are calling. The man in America, the man ain't got data problem. I don't know why he can come back. Okay, let's go. Shelton, let's go to the line. We have a 310 number. The last 4 digits of your number, 2743. Please tell us your name.
Leslie Thompson.
Okay, you're live on the radio. Go ahead and ask your question.
So, GARLEY, ASHFORD.
My name is, yeah. Shelton.
No, Ashford, don't even tell me how your name spell or how your name
You
spell.
said, but you know my name. You call me GARLEY. But you making blah me for? I beg you, man.
Let's go to the doctor. Thank
Okay.
you, Mr. Papino, also.
I'm the doctor. I'm the doctor. Bring a question already for him.
Okay, Rockefeller, I too am a medical personnel, and I can see a person and say, oh, this person may have this, or this person may have that. But I cannot absolutely say what it is until that person, I examine that person completely or send lab for pathology of what that person may have. Now, I may not be a forensic scientist, but there is no way in hell that you can sit in America wherever you are, you know, and disgrace yourself on social media to say that pictures show you that this person drowned. There's no way in hell you can do that without absolutely examining that body. So, you know something, our medical profession is very important and secret. So when we come and start to lie,
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. We're still listening to you.
So when you come to sit down and say, oh, this is what happened, you can suspectly say, you know, in my suspicion, this is what may have happened. You know, and then you said, oh, the person, it was supposed to be one of the boys' clothes that was found. Did you listen to the family today on 50/50 PMAX? And you claim you've been following this story. And then you also said that you are a freelancer. Freelancer never works for free. So people should listen to your words that you are speaking before they even start believing you. So do not work for free. And the third part about it is that the third part about it that I wanted to tell you,
my sister, you got 30 seconds. A lot of people in line, please.
When you went for the Odell Sherman, we paid for you to go to Liberia. You didn't go on your own. We paid for you to go to Liberia. So So these are the things that you have to say. And whatever happened, you are not doing what you were supposed to do. And a big thing came up with it with you and Dr. Chino. So let's be honest.
Thank you, man.
You are not you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, yo, wait now. I beg you. When I'm fighting you, this man went to Liberia. Odell Sherman, a very poor young lady, her mom poor. They had to pay for him to go there. See Moses is a millionaire. Wait, did I ask you to talk? You can't waste more. See, Moses is a millionaire, and this doctor is telling us that nobody pay him money. He working for free. Dr. Rockefeller, please come on the phone. Dr. Rockefeller, there? Okay. I want you to address this situation. Then we'll go back to the telephone line, please. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a little bit of breaking there. If you can sum up for me so I quickly respond, that would be great.
That means want someone for you?
All right, but he said connection problem.
We had a break-in. I couldn't hear you. Yeah.
What I said was you went to Liberia and people had to pay your way to go to Liberia for Odell Sherman, a very poor woman daughter coming out of high school.
Yeah.
People had a lot of problem with you.
Yeah.
You are telling us now, St. Moses, who is a multi-millionaire, this man have been embalming day by day for over 30 years. And you are in the camera looking in the eyes of thousands of people that you're working for free. Hey, man.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk.
Yeah. So again, my personal interest in death cases in Liberia, it is my sole entitlement as a Liberian. I don't know why people are finding that so difficult to comprehend. I did not stop anyone, neither did I oppose to the interest of anyone looking into these cases. Okay? Did anyone provide you any detailed information surrounding possibilities of this case as I have, Ashford? Since you've been discussing this matter?
Go ahead. We're listening to you talk.
Yes. Okay. So no, that was a question. You see, so people should not, the concern should not be why I have interest in the case. I am a Liberian. If I decide to show interest in case A and not case B, that is my own prerogative.
Oh.
My issue that I have here is
so as a Liberian now you can decide what kind of case to look into, right?
Well, if I choose to.
Oh, if you choose to.
If I choose to.
You know what I'm interested in? As a Liberian, the 4 auditors that died, we're still trying to find out who killed them.
I do.
And you know how interesting that. Like only the one you got interest in.
We must wait until the autopsy report comes out. That's why people don't want to understand. An autopsy was done. We must wait for the results to come. Nobody's going to come with a pen.
Why didn't you wait for some type of autopsy to come out before you take on the case and then you show him picture of what the world?
Was there an autopsy done? Our body was just found on the 29th of October 2020. Did you, Ashford the Giant, know that a body was found on October 29th? Did you know that 2 days later, the Liberian National Police was made aware that that a body was found or that they received a body on October 31st? You're also a Liberian. You didn't know those things.
Yes.
See? So based on we have a drowning.
Hold on, Doc. Hold on 1 minute, Doc. Shelton, you're saying something?
Yeah, we got the information that there was a body found, and I believe you remember the young man, the journalist Francis Nah, who came on that night and said that a body was found. Do you recall?
I remember Francis Nah. Yeah.
So we have someone who disclosed that a body was found. So it's not tonight we getting to know.
Okay. Okay, so at least that proves that a body was not manipulated and pictures taken. So at least that corroborates the fact that there's a history that of any doubts that a body existed before has just been laid to rest. Okay. When I was informed, I wanted my source to provide pictures as well, because like I said, one of the inquiries that I made during the early stage of my investigation was I was asking about clothing. Okay. But the guy was able to pick up, you remember that one of the individuals had on boots, pants, and a shirt. So this was kind of striking, because if this is the case and a body has been found and the level of decomposition, you see, what I'm looking at here, Ashford, is we're talking about the forensics. So I'm listening to some of your callers, and I want to laugh, but I can't, just out of respect for the dead. We are talking about a unique form of science, okay? And if you don't understand the language, you're going to just spin off your emotions, and emotions, does not cut at the end of the day. So, we need to understand that, okay? You have a body that basically has on clothing that resembles the one clothing worn by one of the missing individuals. You don't, not only do you have a body, but you have a decomposed body which matches the level of decomposition that you will find, or that will be noted, okay, of a person who has been submerged in water for a couple of weeks. Okay, so isn't this something to ring a bell? If it was a fresh body, that was say, okay, somebody trying to just stage, but how? And you cannot decomposition. The way the body decomposes is not like you get in your car and you run to the store to go and get whatever, you come back home and without anybody noticing. It takes time. Okay. Again, I did not show all of the pictures here because out of respect for the decedent and their family. The pictures that I showed were just to indicate what had happened. Okay. So I mean, when you put these different points together, they tell a story.
Thank you, Dad. Hold on 1 minute. Shelton, you can come in if you want, but we'll have a lot of callers on the line. I want to go back to the telephone line, but come in for a minute, then we'll go back to the telephone lines.
All right. Yeah. So, Doc, I think earlier on you said that your purpose of coming tonight because you're concerned regarding what is obtaining in the country with demonstration and people, are being attacked. And you thought that this information will help create some kind of awareness that indeed a body was found associated with the 3 victims. Is that truly your intention?
Yes.
To quiet what could have taken place? On the flip side, don't you think that this will infuriate the people to say that, as everyone's saying now, that you being paid by Moses or by anyone to come out here just to quiet things and create a cover up?
Well, first of all, it is my true intention to see that we do not have a civil unrest. We all saw that people protested. This is not something that's been made up, and we saw the tear gas being fired at them, were being beaten and put in the executing their fundamental rights. As a Liberian, that does not bring me pride and joy. Okay. Now, for anyone to think that St. Moses, had paid me is mind-boggling, because first and foremost, I'm not in contact with St. Moses. I can say this so that the whole of Liberia can hear. When all of the cards are placed on the table, and if it happens that I am hired to serve as a consultant, that is my right to be a consultant for any party that's involved, because I am a professional. What I will not do is to sit here and
yeah, man,
yeah.
you get it, that probably. I want to see your English, bro. My name, oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
be quiet, man.
We want to go back to the telephone line and pick up a few calls. The doctor said the question was plenty first. Now we just
Yeah,
want full
the
call.
man.
We're not overwhelming.
And you know the funny thing?
I think,
Ashford,
Yeah, hello?
yeah, hold on, Dad. Sheldon is speaking. Yeah, go ahead. Doctor. Yeah, Sheldon, what you say?
some people can come and say, "Oh, I got one question," and you know, it then to three.
I know.
Then like, I'm trying to leave a 5 questions so that doesn't get confused.
That I can get confused. Doctor, hold on. Yeah, don't go to the telephone line. This now I will not ask you 10 questions yet. I only 4 will ask you in a row yet. But get your copy board ready. Telvina Code is on the line from Dallas. Telvina, you're live on the radio.
Let me know. Good evening. Let me know how many minutes I have so I know how fast or how slow I have to talk.
You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, please. I know you got a lot in your belly, but give us 2 minutes, please.
No, 2 minutes good enough. I can do it. Well, I just wanted to speak to your doctor there. You know, a lot of you said, you know, but I want to say something to him. He keeps saying I'm a professional, but I want to start with a little bit. This was the same doctor, professed doctor, whatever it is, that we all contributed to because I put my leg coins in there for him to go to Liberia for the Odell Timothy. And when he then went there, the GOL refused to allow him to touch that body. It was a whole mess. We saw it in the news. It's like you can ask it. They refused until he went to a point that he was hustling with pretend people's body with the saloon and it seems like he has a body going. And they didn't let him touch the body. They had to look into another process. And now he wants to use this people desperation to think that he can go and touch the body. He didn't care about the GOL body, or he cared about it because he got a lot more points. And he has something like, I'm a professional and all of that. And to be a professional, you need to be honest. Because you need to be honest. He was in a chat room. He didn't
Oh my goodness.
Call them in the group chat. I have screenshots of it when you were confronted about the people just demonstrate. They gave him air tickets, they gave him allowances, and he was demanding money. He was demanding money when he was back. So I am privileged to that information. So if they didn't allow him then, what did he think? That they will allow him now to go fight the blood? These are the doctors that feel like, because I can't fight it in America, I will go to Liberia and take advantage of the loopholes there. And people follow you as well, Ashford, and I know they will not allow you to touch the I have this in view of myself. Let me be very open. And I will make sure that I make the phone calls, send those emails, that he will not be allowed to do what he wants to do there. Because his intent is not good. He has a clear motive to make it clear where to make colorful or cash or some coins under there. And I said it and let it go on record. I said it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Davina. We have Madia. Madia, hello. Madia from Rhode Island. You're live on the radio. Hold on. I didn't call your name. One lady here named Madia. Madia? You listening?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and speak, Madia.
Okay. Yes, Madia. Thank you for the recognition. I want to join the many scholars that say that particular doctor that is in your office, that I mean on your podcast, is saying he only developing interest to go to Liberia for.
My dear talk, we're listening to you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Don't listen to the receiver. Listen, get touch with the phone.
Okay. I am saying that particular doctor went to Liberia and he was disqualified, as the court has been saying. And he was crying all over the place. And because we are so desperate and we have vexed with the government, now it is showing that he is not qualified. Because see what he is saying now. Other people have been dying, he did not come up. But just because of Simose having cash or whatsoever, he presented himself to be a doctor. Can you remember the government called him or him bad doctor? He said on him bad doctor. So he's not supposed to be allowed to touch anybody in Liberia. He's not qualified, Ashford.
Thank you. Thank you, man. You're telling my daughter to know. You ain't calling me. I call him mayor. You didn't call him mayor. Murphy, go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, Ashford, thank you very much. Ashford,
oh my God.
Is the doctor is speaking Lexi Moses. He has not done anything with science yet. He told us that he identified the man to be the electrician because his source told him. Their souls and the family people of these people who's supposed to know what kind of clothes they were wearing and who is this person. Then they say, what are your souls? That Jericho said, I can't identify my source. So there's nothing forensic he has done. There's nothing scientific he has done. Yeah, we know that the body is from the water. How do you identify the body? Is it he got a source? Is the source from Morovia or from where the boy used to live or from where the body was found? How do we know? How is that? How can we do that? And then, like I told you, he said that the body was found on the 29th. The police went out on the 31st. When Shelton asked him, he said, "There's no logistic." How you not tell the police spoke, man?
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Doctor. I know you want plenty of questions, but only one more question, then you can come here. Okay.
No, I get asked. That caller was not listening.
8201. Tell us your name. Yeah, you live on the radio, sir. Hey, my brother, I ask you a question now. You on the air? 605.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. You live on the radio.
ASHFORD?
Yeah, that ASHFORD.
Yeah, thank you very much. The first thing here is I want to know that man's definition of pathology. Because what I do understand of pathology is you have to examine the dead body. He has not seen the dead body, only the picture he has. Then how come he has concluded, he has brought up a conclusion without even examining the dead body? Because forensic pathology has to do with examining the dead body. He has not seen anything yet, but because he has seen pictures, so from the photo, he has already concluded that those people, they were not tampered with. For me, I personally feel that that guy is a partisan pathology. In fact, he let him focus, then he get a doctor, then he get a transfer from his school. As he said, I don't think that guy makes any mistake to go to Nigeria. I can assure you that his dead body will come. He will be buried there.
Hey, man, don't say that, man. Don't say that, man. Okay. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, yeah? Okay.
Thank you.
And folks, don't call now, I beg you. Don't get a dollar chance. The dollar ain't let you 5, 10 people calling him like it. The other people, yeah, I question turn now.
Okay. So first and foremost, your last caller, I don't know if he was listening from the beginning, but he asked me basically to define pathology. So pathology is the study of diseases. Now, to the next point, I never said that individual was one of the missing person. I said that a body was found with similar description as in clothing, as well as the level of decomposition of the person who had drowned about a couple of weeks ago. That was what I said. So there's no need to formulate. And point number 3, I can go to Liberia any day, anytime, and there's nothing that you or anyone can do about it. So your threats don't move me. But if you, and if you like to put it to test, that's fine. Okay. People want me, ASHFORD, to say things that will be appealing to them. And I'm talking about the facts. I never said that body was one of the individuals that were missing. I stated here that a body was found, and the circumstances, surrounding that body. That's what I stated. There's no need for anyone to think that I've been compromised. Okay, you say I've been compromised. How was I? Am I God to reverse the process that I would find the decomposing body? Your co-host, Shelton, even stated that a few days ago, you were made aware that a body was found. How can you now tonight try to assume that I'm making up stories I've been tampered with? It doesn't make sense. Okay. So so those were the latter, the latter questions that were asked. Now, for one of your call, I think that's the second time. He's talking about not applying anything that's forensic by looking at the body. Looking at the body, I do not. No one has to be in physical contact with that body to know that the body is decomposed. No one has to look at the body and to know that, well, unless you are not forensically trained, which I understand where you're coming from. Okay, but there will be no doubt in anybody's mind who is trained accordingly to know that that body has been in water for that period of time. And so by saying that, I mean, I'm stating the fact. For you to assume a few that I'm sounding like St. Moses, I don't know how Moses sounds for you to remember him, but it makes no sense at all. We are speaking on the facts here. A body was found, once again, a body was found, and that body, according to eyewitnesses, okay, and I will not release my source until the time is appropriate. But like I stated earlier on, the identification of that body was made by a credible source, okay? And that's why a particular family was contacted. That's all I said, okay? Because there were issues here that the missing men were being held in the poorer society, okay? It was being said that they were killed. So many different stories. Which one are we going by? I was doing my own investigation, and once again, as a Liberian, I'm entitled to do so. Okay, and this revelation was made, and it was brought forth. Now, to all those in radio land that's listening, I hear some ladies talking about how they threw in a few cents for me to go to Liberia. Going to Liberia for 5 weeks was to ensure that the cause and manner of death of Odell Sherman was brought to light. Prior to, from the moment Odell Sherman body, let me say this tonight, Ashford, when Odell Sherman body was taken to the morgue, I was notified, and I had my source on the ground to retrieve certain evidence, which I still had in my possession. So my going to Liberia was just to corroborate, and I was going to be in Liberia for 5 weeks. As opposed to other people who go to Liberia, they do a hasty job and leave in 2 days' time. I was going to be there. We're going to send specimens abroad. There were specimens, the results were going to be sent back to Liberia, and I was going to present my finding, and we discuss it whilst I'm on ground. Okay? But going to Liberia with $3,000, which including for airfare, and let them they will through the money. Let them ask for a transcript. They give money, they're entitled to know. $3,000, fellow Liberian, is what people collected here, roughly for me to go, which included airfare, their transportation at this winning season, gasoline, all of that. All I was told was I'll be taken care of. There are some retired Liberians from the U.S. Marine who on ground I will provide me security. That's what I was being told. Okay, so the money that you're talking about, maybe you gave your funds and it was diverted, but you need to ask the people that collected your money. And I can say any day, anytime, anywhere. What was given to me when I got in Liberia after everything, it was $1,000 and change. Who will live in Liberia this day time? The money you're put together. Maybe the people you're giving to, they get your money, they get something different. But that's the case.
Shelton,
okay. I need to say something.
Okay, hold on. Let me say something. Yeah, go ahead, Doc.
Okay, so one of your callers made mention about me getting involved with the government of Sierra Leone. When I got to Liberia, a young lady by the name of Yata Kamara was found dead at the Palm Spring Hotel. The family insisted that nobody else would touch their daughter's body besides me. The autopsy was done by the Liberian government, and the government of Sierra Leone was informed that I, Rockefeller Cooper, oversaw the autopsy. What happened after that? The government of Sierra Leone, through its embassy, requested my presence not once but twice to meet with them, to give a verbal statement as to how everything was, because they did not have confidence in the government of Liberia. The second time, I met a full staff from Sierra Leone. Okay, that was just before Mara Bio came for the 26th celebration. So I did not go to my going to Liberia not because I was desperate to go to Liberia. Your government said they did not have the professional available to do so. Liberians here in the US contacted me. So why would you give your money first and foremost to somebody who does not know what they're doing, let alone for them to hire somebody who is not qualified? So you need to ask yourself that if you are smart enough and you got any ounce of wisdom, you need to ask yourself that. I was contacted. I didn't beg anybody to go to Liberia. Odell Sherman is not a relative of mine. But anyway, they started to work behind my back and to undermine me, which I knew what they were doing. Dr. Roger Mitchell went to Liberia, did the autopsy. They turned around, the person who they said were qualified, they turned around and they started to condemn him. Why? Because he stated in his report that Odell Sherman had a skull fracture. They did not want to accept that. So you see, so that is the typical Liberian way of doing things. Actually, when you don't give them what they want, they start to condemn you. If I was here tonight, or if I had shown a body with missing parts, then they would have been okay with it.
Odell Sherman, was not a relative of yours. She was very poor.
Right.
Somebody who was supposed to be graduating from high school to go to college. The 4 auditors were not relatives of yours. They died. You never said anything about it.
Correct.
Okay. The 3
but
men.
Those are different cases.
We can't talk to now. The 3 young men.
Okay, go ahead.
Who are missing. All of a sudden, you see, I hear the word for free. When it came to Odell Sherman, people transported you to Liberia. People took care of you in Liberia. They gave you car. They took care of your expenses in terms of security and the whole 9 yards. But now you're working for free. Some people are saying you are protecting St. Moses. St. Moses is a maiden here. Why you know that we don't know? They are saying you have been tampered with. St. Moses gave you money. And they are also saying that you call St. Moses, I can help you with this case. But before you come in, let Shelton come. Then we'll go back to the phone line. Then you can come again. I know you can't. You say the question too much. So when I give you too much question, Shelton.
Yeah. Quickly, Doc. The question I have for you is, with everything surrounding your credential, people are questioning your qualification and what have you. Have you worked here in the U.S. or are you currently working in the U.S. On any credible, forensic case that can equate to your intelligence, your credential, and where you are now?
Well, so like I mentioned earlier, okay, I have worked at medical examiner offices. I also worked with pathologists privately as well. So I work at the county level, I work at this level, and then of course, in the private sector also. So the thing here is, what people I guess they are not catching on is, being a doctor does not make you does not give you the right, okay, to handle forensic cases. You must undergo forensic training. But of course, people are being selective because I'm not playing to the fiddle. So and that's understandable. It would not make sense.
Are you currently working?
I'm sorry?
Are you currently working? Because it could come across that because you're not working, so you took this little cut from Moses so that you can be able to, sustain. Since Moses is professed to be a millionaire, as people are saying. So, are you currently working?
Well, yes, I am working, and I'm very comfortable with my job. I'm very comfortable with my job. Okay, so and I cannot ask for more.
What type of work?
Here is the thing that
What type of work do you do now, Dr. Rockefeller?
I work for currently. I work forensics. So we do death investigations through the performance of autopsies to establish the cause and manner of death.
So which state you currently working? Which state are you right now working?
Oh, well, my job right has me traveling. I'm based on the East Coast, but I do travel nationwide.
The East Coast Beagle. Dr. Rockefeller, Cooper. The East Coast is big, very big.
I think it's frozen again.
Breaking, I don't know.
You will continue to freeze. You got it.
Can you hear me?
That's more thing here tonight. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, the East Coast is big. Where on the East Coast, Dr. Cooper?
Yeah. Well, no, due to the security nature involved in my job, I cannot tell you exactly where. I cannot do that.
Understand? Okay, we understand. Shelton, you still have questions with people. A lot of people on the line. I want to ask some questions. They may let you my question, but we got a few people.
I just wanted to, establish some facts around his credential because it's being questioned here, tonight. And I also wanted to make sure that he's working in America because all of these things are red flag. If he's not working, he going to, solicit pro bono service, then maybe something on the table. Or if his credential is not intact, then there's an issue. So you and I got to ask the questions because that's what people want to know.
Yeah, and
yeah, sure, that's true.
Yeah, we're all hoping that he's working, and I just hope that he really working, and they work. I love this show, my man. We having fun now. I beg it. We'll have fun. So I can't bother them. I'll ask them in the top question. Okay, 316 is your number. Hello, tell us your name.
Hello, this is Lisa calling again. I just want to say this doctor is different from working ship. I believe this doctor.
What you say that I do? Here you go.
Our phone is breaking up.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am. Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, you cut me. Yeah, I believe this doctor is just doing internship. He's not a real pathologist. Because every time you ask him, he's like, I'm a forensic. How can you even take this man serious? His name is Rockefeller, a clothing line in America. Is that someone that's going to represent us? Everything he's talking don't make sense. Like, please, we need to get you Rockefeller out of this platform right now. It's making no sense. Thank you.
Let's take a more serious question there, Ashford.
Yeah, thank you. One of the most serious question. When you ask that hard question, you say one more serious question. Anyway,
we talking say she worry about my name. What my name got to do with anything?
Okay. Wait, and I use it now. You slow down. You don't call too much now. You slow down. Joseph Chia is on the line. Joseph said. Joseph Chia. Your way, you slow down. You're calling me now. Here you go. You slow down. Joseph Chia. You live on the radio, Joseph.
How you doing, Mr. Garley?
How you doing, Joseph? You live on the radio. I believe you're calling from London.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Garley, having me on your program today. I didn't really decide to really make a call. I just decided to watch the program. But you see, as person that work in a medical section as a radiologist, and seeing the doctor saying that he's a pathologist and trying to demonstrate himself, but he's saying some other few other things there. But the little tricky part, I think, when the next gentleman closed, were trying to ask him for his credential. How long have you worked for? Because as person who work in a medical environment, there are certain discipline you have to have, while working. and I think he escaped that little question. But what I see with this pathology or this guy that claimed himself to be a pathology, the problem is he may work within the environment, but he's not 100% of pathology. That what I've seen from my own experience. He seems to be like a contractor because he doesn't have a fixed area that he ever work with, or which type of cases that he ever work on, or if he have to be so. There are some pathology in the hospital, in medical setting, that when people die, sometimes family want a request for how this person passed away, whether doctors make some mistake on that person, or whether they were died or through medical or practice or whatsoever. But from my experience in the medical field for the past years now, I'm going looking at that gentleman from his background. He's still a guy maybe he may love the job, but he's trying to claim on that job that he tried to become whosoever he are, because I don't think he's a real proper 100% pathology. So people shouldn't be wasting the time with asking the gentleman a lot of questions, because he's not giving you the right answer and the right issues that we have to be able to discuss about. He does not even have a job. If you have a job, he may be like a contractor, someone people who support team on a pathology team that go to investigate certain cases. That's how he look like. When we call people a bad boy, people who hold medical physician equipments to be able to deliver to certain sites, and that is some of the claims he's claiming.
Mr. Chair, don't disrespect the doctor bad. But thanks for calling anyway. Thanks for calling, Mr. Chair. Yeah, thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling. Yeah. We have a 267 number. The last 4 digits of your number, 5479. Please tell us your name.
Hello.
You're live on the radio. Please tell us your name.
This is Hannah calling from Texas, Houston, Texas.
Yeah, you're live on the radio, ma'am. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah,
That's straight. I fuck with him, Jenna. He's shot, Jenna. He now real.
Hannah?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let the line.
If you're rule, yeah, go ahead, Hannah.
Yeah, so we all been following the story of these boys, and my heart's been broken. Listening to the father the other day on your show and everything. The doctor is questioning his findings and stuff, and determining things that why he all the way in America doing.
Yeah. You're not easier than that.
What's up?
Yes.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
How many minutes I have?
Yeah, 2 minutes. I know. Send you the George.
Okay.
I'll give you 3 minutes, George. Go ahead.
Thank you,
Patient
thank you,
slow.
Mr. Guy.
Yeah. I give you 3 minutes.
All right,
my
Coach,
sister.
Thank you. I see everybody coming at the back, but why I got a problem with, Coach? Y'all are the journalists. And when you're bringing people on the show, y'all need to do your research and come here and give us the facts if they are lying. It's not our job to go be looking for who real that. The Liberian people who said they send this man to Liberia, why they did not do the research to make sure he's a real autopsy doctor? Why they even pay for him to go? If now you're criticizing him, say he's a fake doctor, he's not a real doctor, so why you even invested all that money in him? That's one of my questions, and again, my question is to the Liberian viewing and watching. It's a reason why when you go on a crime scene, first you take a pictures. Pictures show a lot of stuff. So now when the body is, even from a picture, you can tell. From that picture, you can tell if somebody bite the person, you can make a team mark out of that picture. You don't really have to have the actual body. A lot of them did not listen to the guy when he first came on the show. So when they just coming in and they coming at this doctor, they cursing him out, they're being disrespectful. Y'all go do your to follow if he's a real doctor or he's a BA doctor. That's my thing. But y'all need to off on him. Y'all knew he was fake, but y'all put all your money in it to save for Odell's kids. All of y'all need to return our money for paying for a fake doctor and sending him in a blood. All of y'all are calling in a doctor.
Very good.
Put our money in there. Y'all leave me alone.
Thank you.
Y'all go ask me some
Very good.
on 50 today. He said they said the clothes that was on our ball, on our body was actually wanted the clothes from one of the boy that was missing, but the thing, they took the clothes and put it on a different body. So the doctor is right. The clothes, they said the clothes was the real clothes from the missing. Y'all need to chill.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. Thank you. Josh, listen, I am not taking calls now. Hey, yo, Kimio. I'm not taking call again. Yo, hold on. Yo, big yo. One Shelton, I want you to come in and go to Dr. Rockefeller Cooper.
Yeah.
Because the people are concerned now. They're saying this week.
So Doc,
go ahead.
Yeah, so Doc, you know,
yes.
Frankly, you know, it's sad by all of the things that are happening with these guys. It has created a circus, you know, come to think about it. If people would just be, you know, practical and analytical, and hopefully we can get through this. But you be honest, will you be willing to go to Liberia if you were requested to go to Liberia? Will you be willing?
Oh yes, I will be willing. I mean, it has always been my passion to serve Liberia, which was why I ended up there last year to begin with. Okay, because you know, I'm a human. I have families in Liberia. Being a part of such a noble community, okay, as in the forensic community, if I was to just keep silence, what will I do tomorrow when something happens to one of my family members or loved one? Okay. Besides that, you know, as a Christian, I do not, you know, I mean, it does not alter well for one to, you know, to sit back. You see something, you don't say anything, especially when you're coming from a professional standpoint, not political or personal. Okay. And you don't address these issues. But this is why a lot of people are not understanding. You see, as a professional, I'm saying it because one of your caller, apparently Lisa, yeah, she had a problem every time I say as a professional. Okay, you have to look at things differently. You can, you know, go off of your emotions. Okay, because you know what? At the end of the day, it's all about the facts. If this case has to go to court, the facts is what you know, a competent court of law is going to uphold, not how everybody feels. Okay, so I mean, so that's just you know, that's just that. And I know the internet was going in and out because I'm actually out of town for work. But you listen. I mean, the last caller, I don't know her from anywhere, and you heard. I mean, she said some things that made sense. If people know that I'm not qualified, why did they contact me? How did they know to contact me in particular? Okay, I went to Liberia not to go and plead law. I went to carry out a forensic procedure. But unfortunately, those were the issues that you know, that I was faced with. Okay, and you know, and the one who went to replace me after doing what he did, the people still condemn him. So, you know, I mean, for us Liberians, you just cannot please us.
So I want to say,
so you know, but hopefully one day Liberia will get better.
I want to ask this question before I go back to Ashford. Quick, I'll set the stage. I am a candidate for doctorate in education. Completed my entire coursework, did my comprehensive exam, working on my dissertation, but I'm not conferred with a doctorate yet. And so I don't call myself a doctor, but I'm a candidate for doctorate. In your situation, can you present your credential, even though it's been questioned that you are a doctor? Because everyone here seemed to not believe it. They think that you're just walking around calling yourself a doctor. So I just giving you, you know, my own situation. That's why I don't call myself a doctor, even though I've done the coursework for a doctorate degree. But until I complete my dissertation, defend it, be conferred with the degree, then I can call myself a doctor. What is your situation? Because people are questioning our integrity, bringing you on, and you're fake. That why didn't we do our homework to bring a fake guy on the show to create a show right here tonight?
Okay. Well, let me address the point that you raised. So first and foremost, uh, doing a PhD program and an MD are two different requirements. Okay,
Absolutely.
not unless if you're doing like an MD/PhD. So the issue of dissertation, we'll have to put it as because it doesn't apply to the MD. Now, did you so did you go across the stage to to get a degree conferred upon you? I guess
No, I
I guess the answer to
that
that would
in a
be
letter.
no.
Yes, official letter.
Wait, say that again.
Official letter.
Okay, so yeah, if you so I mean if the degree has been conferred upon you, then of course you are Dr. Shelton. I mean the degree has been conferred upon you. Had it not been,
Yeah.
then that's
Yeah. No.
okay. Then no. Okay, so in my case, on May 3rd, 2015, yes, I walk across the stage. Okay, from the graduation ceremony at Windsor University School of Medicine. What the school did, because I was paying for my tuition out of my pocket, and because at the time I owed them a balance, so they did a letter of attestation, which is used everywhere around the world. Okay, so I completed my program, I graduated, and the letter defines everything clearly. Having said that, that does not, you see, doing forensic work does not require you to be an MD. You got a lot of forensic scientists, people working forensic at different levels, and all they have is just their masters in the program. So if I had not done anything forensic, I would not have gone to Liberia to have gotten myself involved in any murder case. Been involved in cases before, way before this. I took it all the way back to Angel Topa time. I was the one, I put pen to paper at the time. The current Minister Justice Musa Dean was the defense counsel for the accused. I put pen to paper, and the ECOWAS court had no choice but to set them free. People started to attack me again. Why is it I'm defending murderers? Well, how do you know? The government of Liberia failed to prove that these people committed any crime. They failed to prove that they did not. So it was just in limbo. And that was the issue I had with the government. That was something that I raised with the Justice Ministry.
Dr. Cooper.
Okay.
You are working.
So,
hold on, Dad. You are working in your field as it relates to forensic science. 80,000 cases are announced in America as it relates to COVID-19. You are very busy. What you have to talk about 3 missing young men in Liberia when you claim that you're working in your field in America, Dr. Cooper?
Okay, first of all, even if there were 1 million, even if there were 1 million cases in the United States, that has nothing to do with me looking into one single case wherever. That is my sole prerogative. So that question doesn't make any sense at all. And should I be more?
The last time I spoke to you,
should I be more American than Liberian?
Don't fool me. The last time I spoke to you, you were in New York working. Very, very busy in New York. Oh,
yes,
my man. The COVID-19 thing here is not easy. I'm very busy. I don't even have time. You never have time to talk with me for 10 seconds. You tell me, say, I have nothing to do with Liberia. Come on, man. Stop on people, man. Stop on people. Don't do that to me, man.
Oh, but okay. So anyway, okay. So you just confirmed that I do have gainful employment, as opposed to the issue that was raised before. So I'm glad that you did that.
You said that to me.
Now, no, that's what I'm saying. So at least you know that I'm busy working.
The time you told me there were fewer cases than now. What time do you have now, Dad, to leave this to go to Liberia to talk about 3 people who allegedly drowned. Stop playing with people, man.
But you said to leave. No. You said to leave this to go to Liberia. Nothing has been placed in. Okay, maybe I didn't hear your point breaking up.
When I go to Liberia is you're so busy. Because when I spoke to you a few months ago, right? You never had time to talk to me for 10 minutes, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You were extremely busy. With kids in New York, as for the thing here now, I had to go identify body and all the kind of thing there. I ain't got time for this. Now, the cases have doubled. Dr. Rockefeller, stop playing with people, man.
Well, first of all, my assignment has changed, and you said a few months ago, right? So evidently, time has changed. But that's besides the point, okay? On a very serious note, making the issues in Liberia, the cases, they are unique with their own form of differences. So, looking into this case that somebody was saying, I didn't say anything about the auditors, okay? That is a whole different ball game because we are waiting on a report. I cannot come up now and start to say anything. In this case, a body was just found about 3-4 days ago, whenever that was. Yeah, about 3-4 days ago. We have to see how things go. Okay. So you can't mix apples and oranges. That's what I'm saying. People are going off their emotions. Okay. Maybe people are expecting to play a more fight role. Okay, and that's fine. Because with great responsibility, I get that. But that is a whole. We have to wait on a report. With that being said, I have done my own background work, and there are certain things that I'm listening out for. So, of course, when those things do not coincide, they will be addressed. If there's any, trust me, if there's anything different that comes out from the findings, okay, of those auditors, yeah, I'm known to be vocal. I did it several cases in the past during the past regime, and I'll do it again. But for now, we must sit and wait because I cannot be biased. You see, so we have to wait, and no professional will do that. You don't wait on the authority report to come. You get up and start saying what.
And thank you, Dak. And I'm so sorry to those who have tried to call and you didn't get through. I will take two more callers. And go by the SHELTON, and we'll close up tonight because we came here for 2 hours now. We're almost at 3 hours. So let me go to the line right now. Miss Kennedy, hello.
Hello, ASHFORD. How are you guys? This show is very interesting. Hello, Dr. Rockefeller.
Hello, my dear sis.
Okay, I already commend you, for your work during the COVID time, but going back to Liberia on a pro bono is not easy. But some of the questions they're asking you is not like Liberian people doubting you. They just want to know. Because as for me, I never heard about you before, honestly. So it's like you selling yourself to us, but your body language is kind of for off. I don't know, you're uncomfortable or you're not expecting.
Hello.
What am I? Yeah, I think we lost her. Sorry, Miss Kennedy.
No, I can hear her.
Oh, that delay.
No,
I think that delay. That delay. My...
Okay, let me get addressed. Since you're hanging up on, let me address the point that she raised.
Okay.
Okay, she said she hadn't heard about me. So okay, and that's fine. There's the first time for everything. It's not that I'm trying to sell myself because I'm known, I'm known in Liberia. The issue here, is that the issue that's being discussed is coming from a professional standpoint, as opposed to people just going off their emotions. I never claimed that body is anyone. I mean, is one of the missing individuals. Even though a caller just made it clear that on the 50-50 show this morning, Mr. Blamo stated that the body that was found, the clothing did match clothing that was worn by one of the individuals. I didn't listen to the 50-50 show. I don't know Mr. Blamo to say I would have connected with him for any of this. Okay. So, but I mean, it's just about accepting the fact that's being presented. And another thing, I heard a radiology tech that called and tried to put himself in a bubble of being a doctor. Okay. I never told anyone on this show, again, if he wasn't listening from the beginning, that I'm a forensic pathologist. I don't know why people feel that you have to be a forensic pathologist before you can do any forensic work. So we need to get that notion clear. That is not the requirement for doing forensic work.
Okay.
Okay.
That we have to take this call, and that will be the last call. 447. The last 3 digits of your number. Go ahead. 246. Tell us your name.
Augustus Lawrence, calling from London.
You're live on the radio. Go ahead and make a point, please.
Why should we accept your work as credible? Thank you.
Okay, that's the last caller, folks. Yeah, please don't call again. We finish with caller now. I beg you, don't call again, yeah? Go ahead, Doc.
Yes, my work should be accepted as credible based on the following. 1, I have achieved and obtained the necessary education to do what I love doing best. Point number 2, I am a patriotic Liberian with the interest of seeing my country do better, as opposed to foreigners who go to Liberia and take things for granted, hop on a plane and leave. And point number 3, as a Liberian with family members still in Liberia, I do not wish to have such ill fall on my family members as other families have experienced. Therefore, credibility should be attached to my work, in my own opinion. Thank you.
Shelton, I need to come in, and then we'll go back to the doc, and then we can call this a night, my man. We came for 2 hours, we're almost 3 hours, and I think we're doing this because of Liberia and the people of Liberia. Shelton.
Thank you, Ashford. I think in summary here, we gathered tonight to have brought in an evidence, to create, updates, because it's been almost 2 weeks now since this whole incident took place. For 2 weeks, in fact, Moses came. We dissected his statement a few nights ago. The father came. He was probed. We brought other people on the show, but we didn't bring any evidence. Evidence was lacking all through the last 2 weeks. Today, we brought Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, has pictures of an alleged victim of the 3 people who were alleged to be drowned. It's consistent with what the picture is meaning. It shows that this body is in the water, but we don't know the identity of the person. Again, a caller said that Mr. Blamo corroborates that the clothing on this body represents the clothing that one of the victims wore, but they're not sure whether those clothing were taken off the person who professed to be, or they believe to be, alive, and put on this body as a cover-up. So what did we do here tonight? The doctor's qualification, his education, his credibility was put on the line. Tonight, we're going to be leaving with at least one piece of evidence that we have not corroborated whether it was one of the victims. His source did mention that they believe it to be one of the victims, but the doctor has not gone to Liberia to get first-hand information. Again, he has the right to believe what he believes. but I know that thousands of people still don't believe it. One of the things that I want also to educate our folks, the word is going remote. Today, we're all working from home. Actually, you're way in Detroit and in Pennsylvania. People can be sitting in Liberia and do their work here in America. So let us not negate the fact that people can go remote now. But I just wanted to drive this summary that as we close tonight, we've made some headways. Indeed, we made some headways. We now hear a new story that we can call Mr. Blumel, because he was on 50-50. We heard from this caller to tell us what he's seen so far. Maybe it will help to add up to what Dr. Cooper brought to the table tonight. And hopefully Dr. Cooper can find his heart to come back with some of those graphic pictures. Because Liberian people want to see the pangana, the poo in the pangana before they accept that when you throw the poo in the pangana. If you don't bust the pangana, they will not agree. And they will not agree until they see further pictures as they're claiming. So, I mean, I think that we made headways tonight, and hopefully we can get Blumel before you go to Liberia next week, Ashford. And try to see if we can get somebody from the police department.
I tell you, we need to do just that. That's want to sit up here. Listen, Dr. Wade, now I know you like talking. You know, how on you tonight because I know you can be a good guy, and you gotta be good all the way. You know that. Want to say thank you so much. On a very serious note, for taking off time of this schedule. You didn't have to do this. You did this because the integrity and professionalism of this platform, and you needed to come on here to save this and be real with the Liberian people. So please, in your closing statement, go ahead.
And just before you come in quick, somebody is asking whether you are registered with the American pathologist, whatever, like how you got doctors registered with the, so they're asking for your registry. Are you registered under the American Pathological Society? Or are you a medical doctor?
I said, don't keep it out of here to know.
Yes. So, yes, I know the question he's asking. He's trying to see if I'm a part of the American Pathologist Society. No, I am not, because like I stated before, I am not a pathologist. Okay, so that is the answers to rest. Having an MD doesn't.
He's a medical doctor.
Okay.
A medical, yes. So let me I don't like going over my credentials. So I have an MD in medicine.
Yeah, man, it's the MD who
my second master.
You know,
yes.
That do pathology jobs. So, and I'm talking. Yeah, and that MD. And then I have so I have a master's in forensic science with concentration in forensic death investigation. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
so yes. So with that being said, I hope that we as Liberians will be willing to come to terms with the situation in our country. Liberia needs help. Liberia needs professional help, if I may add. And, we have a lot of issues going on, okay, from different dimensions. And it is we as Liberians who can put our arms around Mama Liberia to make it better. With that being said,
can I get a drink, please?
With that being said, but who will get you a drink? With that being said, I must also include the pictures. So like I said, I have a lot of pictures, and the pictures do not support a claim of transfer of. Okay, so I believe Shelton was saying something that I think it was said that maybe the clothes were placed on that body. There's no support of that, because I've got the goods. Okay, so but again, like I said, out of respect for the decedent, we could not go through all the pictures yet. We don't do that. What I showed was just, but there's there's pictures with and without clothing. So, and it does not support any staging, as we will say in forensics.
They may
So,
not in the studio. You know who are working for me. I ask him a drink. He said, "Who give you a drink?" You in my studio to ask me who give me a drink? Eh?
Are you here to get you a drink? Hey, can I have a drink, please? Eh?
Oh, man.
Eh?
The British Radio the studio. I got people working for me, so I can ask for a drink. Hey, business. Thank you, Dr. Cooper. You can hang on. We got to cut this tonight as we go tonight. Listen, man. Next Thursday I will be in
Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, man. Thank you for
it. And
please,
we'll keep in touch, man.
Yeah, sure. Give my number to Shelton, please. Shelton, please give me a buzz. Let me have my number.
You know what I mean, like, bro, Shelton will be on Bridgewood African will communicate because I'll be going live, and I'm telling you, we have to be on the ground. This country, belongs to all of us, and I believe my going to Liberia would do well for some of the things that you don't know. Shelton?
Yeah. Man, listen, Ashford, it's kind of tough, even though the trend we've taken on this whole investigation regarding these missing young men, and I want to applaud you for taking on this matter and the depth of consistency you have applied is commendable. And for Dr. Cooper to have come here tonight to have his credibility questioned, he didn't have to go full length. People can do research, to find out whether he's fake or he's real. Anything you want, and you can find it, right? But he did what he had to do. Again, as I said, this is the first of the evidence we've received so far since we've been, tackling this investigation and following. You've called some very credible people, father of one of the professed deceased, the man who all fingers pointed at Moses. And you've brought some other people to have their own opinion and analyze the situation. So today we can be gratified that at least a body was found in the region. Now, my hope is the government will do what it should do to have, the identity of that individual made known, do the right DNA testing if they have to do that. I just heard the president was in an interview with his now Minister of Education, where he said that he was trying to obtain some DNA machines, especially, investigating rape cases. So that's a way to go. But let's hope we can get the father in, before you go to Liberia.
But Shelton, why would you say to the family members who still believe that their sons are still alive and so forth and so on? They have a strong conviction. You listened last night. Okay, siblings. Victor,
but
he might have said the brothers are still alive.
Yeah, but who shy away from identifying a body? What family member would shy away from identifying a body? So a body has been found, and we're hearing that they don't want to look at the body because they think that there is some kind of trick where the clothing is, yes, that's the clothing according to this caller. I didn't listen to the 50-50 show, and I will try to tonight. But according to this last caller who called before we got to the close, said that Robert Blambo said the clothing matches one of the individuals, right? But they don't know that it is the body. They believe that the clothes were transferred to that body. So why is
what kind of country is this? The clothing matches the clothing that was worn by this alleged victim.
Yeah, it's transferred to a body.
they kill somebody else and then get there and they take the clothes and put in the person. That the
Yeah,
person.
and then throw the person in the water. So that's what I call a said. But again, it's hearsay until I listen to 50-50 and hear Robert Blumbo. But my point here is that we found a body in the region, a body in the neighborhood of where this event took place, while the families are not anxious to go and identify the body.
I know.
Because I would do. Ashford, that's what you would do.
Of course.
You're going to run there to see whether this body is the body. And irrespective of the body being disputed, some credible pieces on our body that a family member who live with that person can say yes and can say no. I don't care what you say, you know. So I would implore the family to see this body. I'm hearing that the body is in Calcutta at a funeral home where they're doing further autopsy and DNA. But that would be my position to them, implore them to go there and see this body, because the first evidence. The second thing here, I hope they will continue to comb the area to see if they can find a second body or a third body. But with all of the, you know, different saying by some of the writers who say that the body, you know, should be floating by 4 days, 3 days, we cannot put an exact, you know, condition on what happened. We don't know the terrain. These guys got drowned if they were drowned. We don't know what happened there. And so if the body is surfacing at this time or may have surfaced or was clinging to a tree or you know, branch in a river, we don't know. You're seeing when what they call this stuff is tsunami or a hurricane take place. Bodies can be found in trees. You've seen it, you know. So, but I think we made headways tonight. So let's hope we can get more, you know, more evidence.
Thank you so much, my brother. And we'll stay in touch, my man. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
I also want our viewers to have analytical minds. I want our viewers to be critical. I want our viewers to look at things from a holistic perspective rather than just be too one-sided or too balanced, unbalanced to the point where if even somebody's giving a good piece of information, they tend not to, you know, receive that information because they'll turn the vision and they're looking one way. But, you know, let's continue to work until we can get something going, you know, to bring more evidence to the people.
Shelton, thank you so much, brother. Enjoy the rest of the night, my man.
Yeah, you too, my man. We'll catch up. Let me know when you're ready.
All right. And folks, I'm afraid it's so determined I have to be with you. God willing, We will be back tomorrow night. Clara Howard, I don't have to be in the photo. I am not interested in being in the photo. Clara, now when you go into the library, say you want to get in the photo. What kind of photo? You have a government. Only few people enjoying, the whole country suffering. You complain that the people that were there before you came were corrupt. You dead now. Corruption is way up there. Some people never earn $100 a month in their whole life. Today, they are building homes in 60 to 90 days. People were in the mud. You silence them. You have a president who made money when he played professional soccer. He became very broke. The Liberian people say, send the boat people giving us hard time. They'll just put anybody there. You became president. You say you want to change. Is that the change that you were bringing? George Weah, is that the change that you are bringing? I'm so sorry for my country, man. But I'm coming to Liberia next week. Half my generation was killed in 1990, including my father. When you want to come after me because I'm speaking truth to the power, come after me. You think I'm afraid of George Weah? I'm not afraid of any human being. And that's why I'm going to Liberia. Look, this is my country and I deserve to be there. I am going to Liberia. Folks, next week I will be in Liberia. You want to come after ASHFORD GARLEY? Because I'm informing the people, educating the people about what's going on. I am coming. If Joshua is doing some good things, I will talk about it. In an area where he's messing up, I will also talk about it. But this nonsense has got to stop. We can't be afraid to go to our own country. The people are angry. They are so angry to the point. Listen. People in the hierarchy of the CDC are saying they will not be surprised if Darrell Dillon wins because of wicked, greedy people who find themselves in leadership. That's all the time I have to be with you, folks. Please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. The heart of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. A bald-headed man does not walk on the moonlight. You can't hide your nakedness on Biffing Bucket. When God bless you, don't say that medicine. The medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia. The broadcast commissioner, ASHFORD the Giant, that now you know me, Garley. Have a good night. Thank you.